Live 3, 2, 1. There we go. What's up, chat? Welcome in Sunday afternoon. We still wait for Game 5 of the NBA Finals. We've turned the corner, chat, on the NBA Finals series. 3 games left, of course. The Thunder have home-courted series advantage back in the playoffs. The series tied at 2-2. What will happen? But we wait for tomorrow night for those NBA Finals storylines to resume. And we thought we just had a nice, easy little Sunday afternoon, kick back, watch a nice, easy action movie, chat, have a good time, maybe, poke around in the trade machine a little bit. But, it seems like the NBA guys have been, poking around the trade machines themselves, chat. Speaking of gone in 60 seconds, the Magic's, all of the Orlando Magic's picks in the future, chat. Hey, they've traded them all. We're just, normal NBA post offseason stuff. We kind of got the early, under the radar sort of offseason moves. I guess it's not totally surprising for a blockbuster deal to be taking place during the NBA Finals, but again, it is sort of a weird time because it just the cycle of course, the NBA offseason, how this stuff works. You would, of course, get the more the earlier moves would be more like obviously trade deadline moves, and then maybe some stuff like right after the season. But that would, trades not necessarily, more so maybe like if a guy got, I don't know, like waived or something like that. But obviously, you're going to get trades more. But then, as we hit, again, at the trade deadline, and then, as really we hit that free agency, and then right as free agency, of course, starts and opens up. But as we get closer to the draft, of course, teams will make those moves to acquire the picks in this upcoming draft. But for this upcoming draft, of course, this is not really the point of the trade because the Memphis Grizzlies do get the 16th pick in this upcoming draft. And again, speaking of gone in 60 seconds, chat, Memphis involved in the pick. It is kind of perfect for today. Shout out, of course, Memphis Reigns, chat. Will be on the screen a little bit earlier. Do we throw on a little Memphis Reigns, a little Memphis Desmond Bane? Chat, it's a little bit of a stretch, but I think Eminem can make it rhyme in a song if we prompt him. If he was doing like a freestyle and we prompted him with his prompts were Desmond Bane and Memphis Reigns, chat, I think that's easy prompts. It's easy work for Eminem. That's easy work for anybody, honestly. But Memphis Bane no longer, chat. Hey, Orlando Magic, Desmond Bane. And we were, what is this we got for a trade? Yeah, 11:19 a.m. chat. So, we got just sitting in church in a Sunday morning. It almost feels like it feels a little scene in an action movie-ish where, you're just sitting there, you've got the choir going in the background, chat, just whoa, and then all of a sudden you get the phone call of like, oh no, Desmond Bane's going to the Magic. What happened? Obviously, and as we get into this, we'll see what happened with the trade. But with the amount of picks going back to the Grizzlies in this deal, of course, this immediately was getting paired to the Luka Doncic deal, being like, hey, 4 first-round picks, doesn't mean only 1 pick in return for Luka Doncic. But, there's a lot of ways that we can compare this to the Luka Doncic trade. But if, in some ways, this trade does enter the surprising scale, I guess, for trades anyways, because Desmond Bane, was he a guy that was, of course, a major player, or was he a favorite anyways, I guess is the better way to say it, for being traded in the offseason? Obviously not necessarily, but it's not totally shocking as well, too. So maybe that's just the first takeaway, chat. And I know, first takeaway is player movement's not necessarily surprising anymore, but just the full... and maybe that is the post-Luka Doncic tolerance to these trades as well, too. Because, again, it's impossible to pretend like we're not living in a timeline where the Luka Doncic trade didn't happen. Like, that's going to affect our ability to be surprised by the upcoming trades. But there's just nothing that really is surprising anymore. And again, you kind of get all the details pretty quickly as well, too. So it's, you're obviously the very instant reactions, every piece of information is quickly changed or whatever by the next piece of information that you get. But as you see the amount of picks and stuff that you're getting, you're like, okay, the trade also becomes less shocking. But if we were doing the action movie scene comparison for this trade, chat, maybe that's a good sort of scale going forward. If you get the call in church, like what's the because obviously, if Luka gets traded in church, and he didn't get traded in church, chat. He was Nico Harrison. It's a Saturday night. He had to go to church the next morning to repent, I think, after the Luka Doncic trade. But if you get the phone call, chat, that's like we gotta load up the team, get the vans ready, whatever. We gotta prepare to for the post Luka Doncic trade reaction. Desmond Bane, while it is surprising, that's like a very, as soon as this is done, I'm gonna go react to the Desmond Bane trade. This is crazy, but still, I would say in modern NBA terms, with Luka Doncic being a 10 out of 10, and again, Chet, even us being, not necessarily in agreement with the trade, but us maybe being more reasonable, thinking delusionally, Chet, if that makes sense. Like, we'd be like, okay, Davis, I see what he was thinking there, obviously. I'm not saying he was thinking the right way, but like when I saw the graphic on ESPN, it was immediately like, oh, okay, obviously Nico Harrison's going for defense. So again, the idea of trading Doncic for ultimately that trade package was a 10 out of 10 surprising. I guess the trade itself is obviously still 10 out of surprising in general. Doncic traded at 25. But Bane traded at roughly the same age as well, too. I don't know if they were same draft class. I think maybe Bane is a draft class before Doncic, and probably a little bit older as well, too, because Doncic, was like 14 when he started playing professional basketball. However old he was when he entered the NBA, who knows? But I think he might be a slightly younger than Bane, but of course, ultimately the trade is Bane to Orlando for Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Cole Anthony, and 4 unprotected first-round picks. Hey, yo, chat. Hey, yo. And then 1 pick swap in there. And I think maybe 4 unprotected's not total. The pick swap is top 2. Oh, the pick swap is the one that was protected. Okay, I remember. Again, scanning the article in church. And what were we doing on our phone in church, chat? Hey, yo, I guess you got us. We exposed ourselves. But, just for us being on our phone. But of course you get the Bible apps on the phone, so like any person tempted, chat, you just you're checking your notifications. It's like, oh, what's happening? Desmond Bane's being traded. So it is what it is. But I feel like we still learned a good lesson today. Regardless, we were still trying to pay attention, obviously. But anyways, chat, 4 first-round picks and then a pick swap and then 2 players. And it does obviously make it interesting going forward because the Magic were were they a big player? Both teams, I guess, in this situation were kind of B+ favorite-wise for making moves and getting involved in the bigger landscape of the offseason picture, because the Magic, of course, just both these teams being younger teams, it was, do we want to just see what's going forward? The Grizzlies, obviously, with the way they've trended backwards over the last couple years, maybe they would have been more likely to make a move. But it does kind of take them out of the bigger player trades as well, too. Because, obviously, by bringing in Bane, you're giving away Caldwell Pope and Cole Anthony, but you're not really giving away any of the rotational players right now. This is very similar, I guess, to probably more of the Bridges trade that the Knicks made, because I think let's go back and look at the players that they gave up in that trade. Obviously, that was a 5 first-round picks, I think, for wait, what am I missing, chat? Oh, Basketball Reference, here we go. For Bridges, and I think the players maybe more picks, but the players maybe a little less in that as well, too. With all due respect to the players in that trade, who was it though? Bogdanovich at this point in his career. I know KCP hasn't been, the 3-point percentage was not necessarily ideal this year for our guy KCP, but he is still a guy that can be impactful. Where's this trade page at here, Chad? Here we go. Transactions. Traded to the Nets with Keita Bates-Diop and Juan Pablo Volette, chat. You forget about Juan Pablo Volette being in the Mikal Bridges trade. Hey, yo. In a 2026 second-round pick to the Knicks. The Knicks traded, so the Knicks traded 3 players, Bojan Bogdanovic, Diakite, and Shake Milton. So, Shake Milton, chat. This is a very pro Shake Milton pod, for sure. And make no mistake, Sam very pro Bogdanovic, but I think, obviously pro Bogdan Bogdanovic, I think, is the more favored Bogdanovic on the Rem and Sam pod. But still, I think, Bojan, if we're saying all the names right, Chad, we're still obviously recognize his game as well, too. But then they got the 25 first, 25 second, a 27 first, a 28 first, a 29 first, and a 31 first. And then, you got all the protections and stuff listed here as well, too. But they had, of course, that way, Brunson, Brunson. Did they have Towns when they made this trade, Chet? July. So they didn't have Towns yet. They bring in Bridges, and I guess that was the fun of having the Villanova Knicks never actually really playing a game together like that, and they trade DiVincenzo right before the season starts to bring in Towns. So this would have been like the Bridges trade before they have Towns, because again, you're bringing Bane into the core. And I was thinking about the graphic. I guess we didn't here. Let me check chat. Instagram for the graphic. I guess I'm not checking. Well, who wants to pull up Instagram nowadays as well too, chat. But let me see. Do we get a graphic for the trade? The big, the big three. Hey, yo, chat. Okay, here we go. NBA on ESPN. Okay, they're slacking on the graphics. Bleacher Report. The Magic's trade apparently doesn't warrant a new trio, a new whatever in Orlando, chat. Yeah, we haven't got it. Again, the trade breaking 6 hours ago, chat. 6 hours ago. Hey, yo, you think there would be enough time? Isn't there a page? I wish we knew the pages more. Jersey swap? This is more just me now just going through my, just going through Instagram. Just seeing if we can find this. Okay, we've got Desmond Bane in a Magic jersey and KCP in a Grizzly jersey. But we don't have the graphic yet of all the stars together. Of Paolo, Franz, and Desmond Bane. Oh, a new big three in Orlando. But they also, again, Jalen Suggs. And you also have Anthony Black as well, too, who you kept in the deal. Cole Anthony, who is an interesting trade piece for sure. And I think it's fun. KCP and Cole. Desmond Bane is a little KCP, Cole Anthony kind of mixed together in a way. Kind of like, using the picks to combine KCP and Cole Anthony super, like their play styles a little bit and supercharge them into Desmond Bane's character. So that is kind of nice as well, too, that you consolidate some minutes in a way, because it was, especially with Jet Howard there as well, too, chat. How many minutes are there going to be to go around, But, yeah, you can. I think you can play all of those guys together as well too. Bigger picture for the team. There's still like maybe are they still set at like the 5 spot, the depth of that and all that stuff. But the 4 small man lineup with this team is a really great. Paolo, if they go Paolo at the 5. And you still have Franz, you still have Suggs. So Paolo, Franz, Suggs, those are the 3 guys. With Suggs back healthy next year too. I mean, obviously that's going to be just a big part for Magic fans being confident in this team again. And then throw Bane into that lineup right there as well. That's a great 4-man. And then I think Anthony Black with his rebounding and defense is really great. And there's like a strength, especially with Desmond Bane now too, chat. But there's a strength with that lineup. Like there is a switchability there that really works. So it is a pretty heavy price with the picks that they are paying. Again, like the player minutes part of it makes sense. And Cole Anthony, his play style, again, like as a younger player, is an interesting player, but I think would have probably been a guy that they would have been looking to try to find a different way to go with those minutes and a different look at that spot. Anyways, but again, I think Magic fans are all like, love Cole Anthony. It's just, the team building and all this stuff. Like, if we were making the comparison to OKC a little, careful chat, but a little Josh Giddey-ish with the play style. And I think maybe his fit in Orlando is a little bit better than Giddey's in OKC. But, regardless, it's obviously, a talented guy that maybe it's just not quite on the perfect lineup for him. But you get number 16 in this draft. So, again, 16 is still could be... 16 could be the best player in the draft. I guess you never know, obviously. The best player in the draft could be Jokic in the 40s. But it's not that great first-round pick that you're getting. And again, Bane's not necessarily, with all due respect, like viewed as necessarily a franchise cornerstone piece at this point. So would you even get a top 5 pick if you had it locked in for Desmond Bane? You probably wouldn't get the future picks the same way. But you get the 16 pick in the 25 draft. The 26 first round pick, which includes swap rights with Phoenix or Washington. That is crazy, chat. I mean, because Phoenix, we already know Phoenix is right on the. I mean, they're not even on the edge anymore, chat. Like they are kind of almost starting to push over into becoming again tanking team. Because even if they trade Durant with Booker in whatever pieces they get, like there's still a version of the team that maybe it's a competitive team, where they go full tanking mode. maybe not quite. But again, if Orlando's trying to be competing for not necessarily just can they make a run in the playoffs, but can they be, especially, again, Eastern Conference next year, Chad. It's going to be an interesting conference with the talent in that. So regular season, they're going to be competing. They're going to be wanting to compete for probably ideally the 1 seed. I would imagine the Orlando fans, because even though last year or this last year in the regular season, it was like, can we be a top 4 team? And the East was a little bit more stacked in front of Orlando than they thought. Like, I think they're still going to be taking the step forward next year. And again, they're getting better. So it's like, just can we get the 1 seed next year in the Eastern Conference? But either way, you would still hope to be better than the Phoenix Suns and the Washington Wizards as well, too, chat. Would you rather have Paolo, Franz, Suggs, Desmond Bane, and Anthony Black and no picks? But they did have a surplus of picks as well, too. So we could go back and look at what they have left. But, would you rather have that core of guys or Alex? I guess, sorry, chat. Sorry, Wizards fans in the chat. You guys aren't getting Cooper Flag. But Alex Sarr, Bub Carrington, and who else on this team? Chat, Kashawn George instead of the Orlando Magic core. I don't know. Is it a debate? But 2028 and 2030 unprotected first round selections are interesting picks as well too. That 2030 Orlando unprotected, 5 years out, you just never know. It's a mystery. Could be it doesn't necessarily mean the Magic are going to be the worst team in the league in 5 years. This team's going to be desecrated, but are they going to be, again, the 1 seed in the Eastern Conference? It could still be in this middle of the first round range. But that Phoenix Washington pick, if I'm understanding this correctly, the 2026 first round pick, which includes swap rights with Phoenix or the Wizards. So they probably, I don't know if it's best or but either way, Chad, like those are 2 good options. It's not like, Phoenix or I was gonna say like Boston, but Boston without Tatum next year, obviously in a different spot. But Phoenix, or maybe that's the question is like, who are the locked in automatic run it back teams next year? Phoenix or Indiana. We'd assume Indiana would be an awesome regular season team as well. But yeah, you do get to add Bane into this mix of guys. So the fact that you get to keep your entire, like we said, your entire four, because again, with Cole Anthony and a guy like Wendell Carter as well too, you could put in the mix to be like, could he be in there? Like you could still see a version of, again, the wing talent, all the stuff being around him, being talented enough that he could still be on the court. So if it was Wendell Carter, night to night instead, but again, we just assumed that Anthony Black is going to continue his game's going to continue to level up to where he might just be a better player anyways. And again, like he's got that versatility 2-way type game and can give you the rebounding as well too. I think that could make up for, again, the rim protection and stuff is going to be a little bit different, but the Grizzlies need 3-point shooting as well too. And Bane definitely provides that 3-point shooting, which is great. So is he among the most automatic guys in the league? I don't know if he necessarily goes into that category, but again, this team I think is, with as stacked as those Grizzlies teams were, chat, like this team is still a more stacked team than what he's been. So where's he at he's 41% for the career. So his lowest 3-point percentage is 38. He is maybe a little bit more automatic than I was giving him credit for, chat. 6 a game is not like the most volume shooter in the league, but when he was at 8.5 3-point attempts per game, he was at 38%. So let's see, like, where does that put him in the league here? How many guys would have been shooting? Because 8.5, it's 2023, so I feel like sometimes, do I have the numbers totally dialed in? That's going to be up there. Yeah, the league leaders usually, it's like one guy, double digits, Steph, and then maybe Dame, peak of his powers, taking double digits. Yeah, Steph, Doncic's at 10 a game in 23, 24. Hey, back in the Dallas. Clay in Golden State taking 9 a game, 77 games played this year. So wait, where is our guy, chat? Bane, wait, is there a game played thing here? Wait, can we sort by the qualifiers, chat? Why aren't you unchecking? There we go. Or is it gonna, yeah, so Bane would have been 9th in 3-point attempts last year. So there would have been 16 guys taking 8 a game plus 2 more at 7.9, chat. So it doesn't look like, at 38% he wouldn't have been, the top of the 3-point shooting percentage leaders for the high volume guys. But okay, scroll through, you got Mitchell at 36% a couple of years ago. Clay at 38% a couple of years ago. Maybe I'm trying to remember as well too. Again, the volume, it's Clay. I feel like maybe in the second half of the season he was playing a little bit better than he was to start. Oh, wait a second. Oh, that's right. Oh, but we're going to lose Bane. Maybe we won't lose Bane in the percentage sort, though. Maybe just the attempts. But either way, 38% puts him... Oh, here, let's go. Let's just sort it by these high-volume people here. So, he's middle of the pack for the 8+. Actually more bottom of the pack for the 8+ guys. But still better three-point shooting percentage than Tatum at 37. Speaking of Sam's guy Bogdanovich, in Atlanta, 37% on 8 attempts a game. Trey Young, 8.7, 37%. Maxey, 8 a game, 37. Mitchell at 36. And then Dame Lillard in Milwaukee, 35% at 8.5 a game. McCollum at 8.4 at 43% a couple years ago in New Orleans would have been the highest. And Paul George on the Clippers at 8 a game would have been second at 41.3%. But then you have Steph Curry, DiVincenzo, Markkanen, Hero as the next couple for the highest volume guys. But again, just to upgrade in spacing either way, chat, for the Orlando Magic. Because KCP, in theory, can definitely give you that spacing. Pause. But for sure is a guy in his career that has provided that to the teams that he's been on. But the Orlando thing just unfortunately did not work out this past year. 34% is actually a little bit better than I was thinking. 40% last year in Denver. Yeah, the 2 years in Denver, he was over 40%. But Orlando, just not quite. So 31 years old, chat. It's not like KCP, write him off again as a impact guy. So Memphis, now that they have the picks in this way, you would assume that maybe that becomes the thing. But maybe, again, it was just a little bit of an overwhelming offer from that aspect where they were like, well, we just kind of have to go with it. And they, Ja, we still definitely believe, we still definitely believe in Ja as the guy, chat. But it is still obviously a question. It's just a little bit of a uneasy vibe in the air of him as the franchise guy. Just like, what is the basketball on the court results going to look like with him as the leader going forward? But you still think that and Jaren Jackson's obviously still a pairing. It's not like they're lacking for those franchise cornerstones, again, in theory, with the way those guys can play at the peak of their powers. So now you had Cole Anthony into the mix as well, too. You had Edey. More minutes for G.D. Jackson, of course. And the Jalen Wells piece is a bigger piece, too, for this two-guard aspect for the Grizzlies. Because defensively, is he the three-point shooter actually right now that Bane is? But I think that he kind of... Again, Bane maybe a little bit better creating off the dribble for himself, but Wells in kind of the catch and shoot stuff I could see being pretty effective. I think his, I wouldn't be surprised if his rookie number was a little bit lower, especially with the way he started as well too. Is a little bit of an up and down start for him before, really finding his lane. But 35% on the year for a rookie is honestly not bad, and getting to the 10 a game mark as well too is crazy. End of the season, chat. Tough end of the season for Wells. Had a broken right wrist concussion and facial laceration. Ayo, expected to miss the rest of the season as of this April 11th report. But so hopefully our guy Jalen Wells is doing okay, recovering from his many injuries, I guess. But you have Jalen Wells, who you're expecting to be a two-guard guy. Cole Anthony off the bench. That's kind of fun. Him in Memphis. The thing is, Scottie Pippen Jr. did emerge as such a great, and that's another, guard guy as well too. But again, he's more of a 6-man guard type for that team, and then could maybe, but depending on the matchup and who you have out there, be a guy that's ending the game for you in your lineup. But is probably a bench guy, defense swing guy throughout the course of the game, bringing some energy to the offense. So him and Cole Anthony could definitely play together. It's a little undersized in the backcourt, but again, it's your bench backcourt, so you get a little experimental with it for sure. But you've got G.G. Jackson, Scottie Pippen Jr., and Jaren Jackson Jr. as kind of a new version of the four, and then Jalen Wells. Did we say Jalen Wells already? or did I say Scottie Pippen Jr. chat? So you've got between Gigi Jackson. I'm just calling Gigi Jackson a starter chat. Between both Jackson Jr. So Gigi Jackson and then Jared Jackson Jr. and then John Morant and then Jalen Wells and Vince Williams Jr. You know, can't necessarily give up on him either at this point. But those four guys as like a billion, you know, and Jackson and Ja still only at 26 as like the younger foundation of the team going forward. Still a pretty guy. You know, again, we still really like Jalen Wells and Gigi Jackson here. So that's nice. And then Brandon Clark back healthy as well too. Or, you know, can Brandon Clark stay healthy for a full season is always a question. But that can be a final rotation guy as well too. So I'm not saying that that's your starting lineup is probably not like we were saying, Ja Morant, Jalen Wells, and then Gigi Jackson, Brandon Clark, and Jaren Jackson in the front court. But that if that's your base sort of five going forward, then your next five is Cole Anthony, KCP, Scottie Pippen Jr., and we didn't even mention Zach Edey, their first round pick. So, you know, Zach Edey over Brandon Clark, depending on what you need to do for the matchup wise as well too. But again, they still continue to be a pretty nice team as well too. Because Luke Kennard, I'm guessing, is free agency. Yeah, Luke Kennard. You know, you're losing the Luke Kennard minutes, but you're bringing KCP in to take over. You know, you were looking for somebody to fill that role. Hey, yo, but wait, what movie is this, chat? There was just, some soccer game on, but should we know this, chat? We got the Happy Madison right off the bat, but sometimes with the Sandler, if it's not grown-ups, you know, I'm a little bit slow sometimes to pick up on the Sandler movie, or, you know, Waterboy, or I guess Murder Mystery, or maybe like Uncut Gems. You're like, oh yeah, okay, this is Uncut Gems, but wait, Just Go With It, chat. What is this one? I'm not as familiar with this one here. The TNT movie, Just Go With It, 2011. Oh, this is the Aniston Sandler chat. Okay, we're adding it to the. Well, I was gonna say we're gonna add it to the watch list, but I guess we're watching it right now. Well, you know, we're also gonna watch Gone. It's a Gone in 60 Seconds day, chat. Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston. Could Jennifer Aniston have been in Gone in 60 Seconds? Hey, yo, chat. We're already getting into the movie a little too much here, but hey, yo. But where were we at? On the trade, Adam Sandler, the Memphis Grizzlies. I don't know if there's a correlation there, but could Adam Sandler play Taylor Jenkins maybe in a Grizzlies thing? Or maybe is there who is the coach most like Adam Sandler right now? Are we going to the ChatGPT? ChatGPT is 2 years behind though. It's not going to know like the current coaching candidates to the same degree. It may know some of the former head coaches who could still be currently in the cycle. It's like, oh yeah, well that guy, he was available for a job in 2022. He's still available for a job. So ChatGPT is just going to get lucky by mentioning him. But, yeah, I don't know. I can't think of, like, an assistant or a guy right now that is up for a job this year. Like, that could take over the Grizzlies and be a Adam Sandler-like character. But, again, Taylor Jenkins is not necessarily, like, an Adam Sandler-like character. I'm just thinking, could Adam Sandler step into a little bit more of a dramatic role and take on, like, a Taylor Jenkins-type role in a movie? I think I could see it. But, again, the who has the who could we project Adam Sandler playing in this could be interesting. Or maybe he's a player, chat, or an assistant, or an owner. What does the Grizzlies owner look like? Does the Grizzlies owner look like Adam Sandler? Or is the Grizzlies owner a lady? Maybe the Grizzlies. Oh, Robert Pera. Okay, chat. Can we get a image search over? You know, speaking of the action movie, now we're Googling billionaires here. Okay, so does not necessarily, well, yeah, not necessarily an Adam Sandler. I guess if Para kind of had like a little midlife crisis, chat, ayo, you know, no disrespect to Sandler, but maybe if Para stopped jogging and had a couple of drinks, then maybe Sandler could get there. But hey, yo, chat, whoa, hey, yo, but not necessarily spot on. Who's this guy, chat? Just some fan? Sandler's like a fictional made-up super fan character in this? Who knows? But former Grizzlies owner, maybe. Get Adam Sandler some makeup? Who knows? But Yeah, what is Adam Sandler? I mean, he's definitely, his notifications were on for this trade. Adam Sandler was definitely reacting to this trade in real time to all of us. Does Adam Sandler have Bleacher Report, chat? I mean, he's definitely got the ESPN app, I would imagine, and he's getting the ESPN notifications. Or, does he have Shams on Blue Sky or something? He's getting the Sham notifications of, oh, the trade's going down. But he's definitely having opinions in real time of like, oh, which Adam Sandler voice. I guess it's all kind of the same Adam Sandler voice that he's doing for all of his characters. But which one are we picturing when he's talking about trade? All right, how do we not mention Hubie Halloween as well too for iconic Sandler movies? Hubie Halloween has got it. If we were just our Spotify Wrapped for Adam Sandler movies, that's a top 5 Sandler movie to watch time. Iconic holiday movie. You gotta watch it every October. Hubie Halloween, yo. But yeah, so Grizzlies, I think this is a good trade for both teams. Again, a little pricey with the picks, for sure. But it can be a little, I think this year's pick is a little what if, whatever. Kind of, you don't want to just say whatever for any picks. But the 16th pick in the draft is kind of okay. We get what that pick is. Is that guy going to be a rotation guy this year? Here, let's see on the mocks. I guess Danny Wolf, chat. Could Danny Wolf have helped this Magic team potentially? So right now the Grizzlies at that projected 16th pick with Nick Clifford, the wing out of Colorado State. So, the Grizzlies taking a wing. 19-10 and 4.5 per 36 is pretty interesting. Leah McNeely to the Timberwolves with the next pick. Igor Denham, Thomas Sorber. See, Sorber could be an interesting one for the Magic maybe, but again, they kind of need, I think the 3-point shooting is a little bit more important for the team right away, obviously, than I think them continuing to figure out that center rotation, maybe especially in the Eastern Conference as well too, with just the fact that it's just going to be projected a weaker conference compared to the West as well too. It's still going to be a competitive conference with the talent in the conference, but if it's like, okay, compared to the West, obviously this is still a little bit of a disparity here. But if you're thinking that center matchup stuff, you've obviously got Giannis, who is terrifying in the East. And I guess we should mention that as well too, chat. That was another, just for me, just obviously initial, I guess I'm saying obviously for me, the Spurs fan, where I'm going to go here. But initial reaction was, okay, now we're definitely probably not going to get Giannis, because 4 first-round picks for Bane, chat. Like, Giannis, I was trying to think of what the take might be, but and again, obviously it's not a discredit to Giannis to pull back on the hot take as well too, but is Giannis the most, I was trying to think, is the take like Giannis is Giannis the most expensive player in sports history? And again, it's a loaded, like, you got Jokic in the league right now. Could you trade Jokic as well too? Like, could you trade Giannis? But and again, I'm not trying to discredit Giannis, because obviously we're about as pro Giannis pod than anybody, but is Giannis as good as some players were at certain moments? Like MJ, obviously peak of his powers. Discredit to Giannis. Like, is his trade value a little lower than peak MJ? But I'm trying to think the mechanics of the league at the time that would have also allowed for an MJ trade to be made. Like, again, a team like San Antonio, the second apron cap thing is not necessarily going to be in play when it comes for us trading for Giannis. But now the picks part of it, the picks inflation, chat, being what it is, 4 first-round picks for Bane. Why would the Bucks take 4 first-round picks for Giannis? And again, I get the player portion of the trades for those players as well too. But Bane compared to Giannis, or Bridges compared to Giannis, you're going to get more picks and more. You're going to get both, because Giannis is just a better, different level up type of just a rarer type of star level player. Like, I just think the price point at this point if the Luka Doncic trade, I guess, had been the most recent star player trade made, then maybe there's a different type of inflation. But now it's like, okay, we're back on. It's a lot of first-round picks to trade for these guys. And the Spurs, again, I as an irrational fan, I would trade everything in 2K to get Giannis on the team and just go, okay, well, we can, obviously, if we're controlling the team, then we can win a title with this team. We'll just go in and adjust the league settings however we want, which I guess the league could do anyways, chat. They're messing with the settings all the time. It is what it is. But, especially this year, it feels like sometimes, Colin and Scott Foster, now we're going to Game 5, chat. Hey, I guess we would have been going to Game 5 anyways. But now we're going to Game 5, tied 2-2 in the finals. But is there some, chat, what else? I guess, not to say that we have to get this movie off, but is there something else? Hey, whoa. Is there something else on? A finals game 2 rerun already? Still running Goodfellas, chat? Hey, yo, Goodfellas. Been on all afternoon. You love to see it. But it just is. It's one of those movies. It is on all afternoon. But a rerun of the BET Awards, chat? I guess we didn't recap the BET Awards. Hey, yo, there was some interesting stuff. Chris Brown got Kendrick Lamar in a category, and I was like, oh, shout out. But a little surprising. So, I guess Kendrick Lamar was winning in probably enough categories at this point. They're like, okay, we did voter fatigue. I guess, okay, who can win that's not Kendrick? Chris Brown. But yeah, so the Magic anyways, like we were saying, the East is just going to be a different landscape. I guess, we don't want to disrespect the Cavs. The Cavs are running it back. They've got even if whatever they do with Jared Allen or whatever, like you assume Mobley is still obviously that scary piece in the front court, like a center-ish type piece, even though he's a little more power forward-y at times. But if Giannis is like your true main, how do we stop this guy threat? Because again, I guess Mobley is a little bit more defense as well too. With and Giannis obviously defense, but offensively Mobley doesn't have the how do we stop him factor that Giannis has. Like Giannis is the one true center and one true big man in the East at this point that does, I think, have that in here. Let me just make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Chat. Miles Turner is not necessarily shooting well in the finals. I guess, a guy like Duren as well is just an interesting, what does he look like, his status. And I guess, Towns as well, too. We can't forget about Towns. Hey, yo, shout out Towns, chat. But, so you got Towns, Mobley, Giannis, and then Duren might be the fourth best pick. Because, again, I guess Porzingis, but the health factor for Porzingis as well, too, is always gonna be interesting. And then Bam on the Heat, but the Heat are, Bam is gonna be on the Heat next year, so the Heat probably aren't gonna be that great of a team, and Bam is just gonna be sort of left out of the playoff picture, unfortunately. And then Embiid, just what happens with Embiid, those guys are kind of in separate what-if categories with the team status, and Embiid is a part of the team status, obviously affecting that. But again, I guess with the point being from a matchup standpoint, if you're just trying to make a run this year, because I think you can still get back onto the timeline to where you wanted to get to. I think this year was here. Let's go back to the over-under for Orlando. First round playoff exit. Some of the injuries, finishing as the 7th seed was a little bit lower than me. Yeah, they were under the win total for the year. So again, you lose Paolo for half the season. It is what it is. You still finish 41-41 compared to a 47.5 over-under. But let's see where they were at. Oh, wait. Where's the championship odds here, chat? Are these title odds here? Preseason title odds? Why is it sorted by all the 1s and 2s first? That's crazy. Hey, yo, chat. Let's see. Will this make it different here? Championship? Nope. Just preseason odds. It is what it is. So I guess don't adjust what it has listed here. So here's Orlando, chat. 40-1. So, of course, Boston, New York, Philly were the top 3 going into the year. Milwaukee, number 4, and then Cleveland, number 5. So, yeah, they were the 6th projected team just out of the East in general. And then you had OKC, Dallas, Denver, Minnesota, Phoenix, and then Memphis as the Western Conference teams projected above the Grizzlies as well, too, or the Magic. And I guess the Magic were tied with the Lakers and the Warriors as kind of their overall championship outlook. And I got to be honest, by the time we got to the playoffs, maybe the Eastern Conference thing would have benefited the Magic at that point, but it definitely felt more likely, even with the odds that it would have been reached, especially the fact of the Western Conference teams getting past the Thunder as well, too. But it does seem like it would have been a little bit more likely for the Warriors, a fully healthy Warriors with Steph, or a healthy Lakers to win the finals compared to Orlando at that point. And again, not, were they likely to win the finals, but were they more likely than the Magic, to win the finals between those 3 teams? It felt like Orlando would have been the 3rd team in the odds. But I guess they don't have, would they have been projected to go to the semis here in the championship odds for the season? But at least the vibe of the fan base would have been, okay, if we can get, like we were saying, that top 4 round, you're probably going to still be playing, again, that top 6 teams, there's going to be competitiveness there. Obviously, Philly fell out because of the injuries and stuff from there, so it ended up being that top 5. And then Indiana, of course, vaulted back in, but the regular season a little under. We definitely a little under assuming, chat. It is what it is. But Yeah, that if the goal was maybe if we, here let me say it this way. If the goal was it'll be like a extra credit to get to the conference championship game in a way, this year them getting to the conference championship game or the finals as the finals is now the extra credit part of it as the next step of the timeline could still be back on track for this team. And again, if you're thinking the Bucks are not even probably, they're going to be a less yeah, as I'm saying it, Chad, it's like, who are because they traded AJ Johnson, they traded Beauchamp. It's not like they're going to have the random, AJ Johnson's now scoring 12, 15 points a game. But, Kevin Porter Jr., AJ Green, is there some weird Dame Lillard Ewing theory where they're kind of in the same, and then Giannis is back, they're kind of in the same spot that they were last year. Yeah, only 67 games played for Giannis last year. But is he going to play, 78 games next year as well, too, with this Bucks team? Who knows? But you would assume that Orlando would be in a better shape roster standpoint to, night to night have more wins than the Milwaukee Bucks and be in a better spot to, as a team, go more playoff rounds. So I don't know if, yes, Giannis is still going to be a terrifying matchup, but the Orlando is still probably going to think if we're playing up to talent at this point, sitting here in June, chat, we haven't even hit the draft yet for the next upcoming season, but in June, before the finals in 2025 potentially wrap up, you're sitting here thinking about the finals in 2020 or the Eastern Conference finals in 2026 going, we're not necessarily that scared of Milwaukee if we're playing that team, even though we are, of course, scared of Giannis. So I guess the long road to this is they may not necessarily need to worry about the front court stuff as much, or that do we have the dominant center? Because a lot of that is the Western Conference. A lot of that is Jokic is in the West. Wembanyama is in the West. I get, is Chet that kind of physical dominant matchup. But, the Thunder obviously as a team, or the Davis was, still a threat in the Western Conference. And with Cooper Flag, the Mavs are probably going to be definitely a more competitive team. And, you would assume that if Flag's a 20-point-a-game guy with Davis and, they're not going to have Kyrie for a lot of the year, but there's still a version of that team being a playoff team, of course. You get Davis for Kyrie in the regular season next year. You flip them for what we had this past season because Kyrie's a little more healthy in the regular season than Davis, a little bit. But then you just add Cooper Flag in as a wing with some of the wings that they already have. It's a feisty 7 seed maybe in year one of the Cooper Flag run. But a lot of those center dominant stuff, and I guess Towns would have been in the West as well too. Him moving to the East has at least balanced that out a little bit. But Towns as well too is more of a perimeter. Towns is kind of more of a wing, honestly. And he did lock in with some of the rebounding stuff in the playoffs and has definitely, again, proven to be a guy that has been on these teams now that have made these runs. So you got to give him his credit. But Zion, Sabonis, Sengun, Steven Adams has been, the Houston Rockets locked him down for the next couple of seasons. So there's another center in the West that you got to worry about, Chet. Steven Adams. Zubats. You got Zubats in the West now. And then, Ayton, Klingon. Well, I guess Klingon could be, I got Klingon stock, Chat. I think Klingon's going to be a dude. Klingon is going to be, how could Pat Ewing impact the NBA in 2025? We're going to find out, Chat. He's Donovan Klingon. Is Pat Ewing reincarnated? It is what it is. But I guess I was gonna say, the Georgetown ties. But hey, Chet, that was close. UConn. Don't cancel me, Big East fans. But he's gonna be an impactful defense two-way center as well too. I guess could he get eventually picked on the way Gobert does? But I think there's a perimeter thing with him as well too. Maybe a little Porzingis-y without the perimeter game, without the 3-point shooting. Who knows, Chat? But again, a lot of that just night to night, do we have to match up against these teams in their center lineups? That would be a more of a Western Conference issue. So for a playoff run in the Eastern Conference, again, sitting here in June, just looking at because I guess it's going to change as well too. So do we need to look at who are the potential centers going to be entering? He's Malik could be, if I'm saying his last name right, Malik from Duke, the 7-2 center, who reports are San Antonio is starting to eyeball Chad. There's also reports that not Phoenix. Who's the team we're staring at right now, Chad? Philly. Hey, there's a chance that Philly wants to trade up from 3 to 2. So, Dylan Harper. Once we're out of the Dylan Harper spot, we're taking Malik over Edgecombe and some of the other wing guard type players. Who knows, chat? But you get, I guess, and then Malik would be in the Western Conference at that point. So I guess, Sar in the East. We got to mention Sar as well, too. Vooch is in the East. So, those are the centers in the East, chat. You got Vooch, you got Sar, you got Miles Turner. Yeah, it's a solid group of guys, make no mistake, but it's just they're waiting their turn to get picked on the pickup court behind some of the Western Conference guys. And Derek King for the Bulls, is he year one going to be impactful guy center? He definitely could be. Sorber's an interesting, has some defense. I guess, do we have to maybe watch some of the tape on his athleticism and see how that could translate year one? Kalkbrenner, chat. I don't know, defensively. Well, he's got kind of a shot blocking aspect to his game, but could he get? He's a little like 7'2" Chet. I guess Chet's what, like 6'11", so a little bit bigger. Pause, Chet, but somewhere in that range. We'll just have to watch more Kalkbrenner as well too. And I guess Danny Wolf technically a center as well, but Danny Wolf wouldn't necessarily give you the center stuff that you're the lineup versatility that you're looking for the Orlando Magic. So I guess there is still, potential. Could we find a guy in free agency as well, too? Do we need to just pull up the free agents and just quickly look at the list, chat? I think it's a list worth looking at. We're about to enter the NBA offseason here. Oh, LeBron! Whoa! Where's LeBron going to go, chat? Hey, coming up next, Van Fleet, Harden, Lopez, Capella. Oh, Miles Turner is unrestricted free agent. Okay, so Turner, chat. We're over here criticizing Turner, but Turner on the Magic would not be bad. I mean, they probably not. They necessarily didn't have a ton of cap space, I think, to operate with in the offseason. We can go back and pull that up here as well too. But again, they weren't necessarily handicapped by second apron stuff for them to make a move. It's just they had a lot of guys under contract. But Naz Reid is a coveted guy, chat. I know. Again, I think we might have already mentioned this, but Russillo just trying to get Naz Reid the mid-level exception. Like, is Naz Reid going to make $14 million a year? It's like, no, I think Naz Reid's going to make like $20 million a year in free agency. Again, there's not a lot of money, but if we're just who we're going to pay, Naz Reid is he's 26 this year, chat, and he's been in a conference finals and played well and been in some good playoff games. So I think he's one of the better free agents. I mean, Naz Reid or Miles Turner, chat. I think Miles Turner, it's close. It's close, but it's just more Naz Reid has played better at the stage that Turner is, I guess, not currently at, because Naz Reid hasn't been in the finals, but he also, he wasn't necessarily like lighting it up this past playoffs as well too. Looney could be Looney would be one of those guys, like, is Looney going to get the full mid-level exception? Probably not. He's making $7.5 million right now, so could he unfortunately make, he'll be fine financially, chat, a couple $1 million a year. But, could he drop down to like a minimum-ish contract on Orlando, that type of deal? Drummond will give you some minutes, chat. I think Drummond is, could we go into the season being like, okay, if we need Drummond at the end of a game for a playoff series, we feel good about that? You'd still feel a little shaky if you need to have that kind of big man lineup out there on the court. But Drummond as a guy giving you 17 minutes a game in the East might not necessarily be the worst thing. Dwight Powell, Thompson, Tristan Thompson, Taj Gibson. 40-year-old Taj Gibson is a free agent, chat. Hey, shout out to Taj Gibson. Luke Cornett, I think maybe Boston wants to bring him back, chat. He's only $2 million a year right now, so is he going to get $10 million a year from the Celtics? But so I guess would he get that kind of money from Orlando? Do they have that kind of space, chat? Aldama's going to get a pay raise as well, but I guess he's restricted, so you would assume that Memphis is going to bring him back. And I guess we didn't even mention him as well too when we were going through their lineup a second ago. But that's another guy that I think could actually be, that could be a final minutes type guy for him. Honestly, his versatility next to Jaren Jackson, that kind of spacing defense lineup that they could give you with, again, the guard athleticism stuff that they have around it. Like the Grizzlies still obviously have rotation guys. And I guess, Aldama, Bane, those minutes aren't really necessarily being affected there too much. Bull chat. Do the Magic bring back was Bol on the Magic? I feel like Bol was on the Magic at one point. Or our guy, the Wizards Vucevic. Tristan Vucevic is kind of a sneaky remnant. Oh, Charles Bassey. Somebody get Charles Bassey and actually give him some minutes, Chad. I guess we'd love to have him on the Spurs. I love the fact that Charles Bassey had a Spurs run because, again, we have Charles Bassey's socks. So it's like, oh, yeah, they see something in the guy that we believe in the same type of player, Chad. It's good to be in alignment as a fan with your team like that. But we were not so aligned that we just wouldn't have given the same amount of minutes, Chad. We would have given him more minutes. They didn't give him any minutes. It is what it is. All those minutes we were trying to give to Zach Collins. I mean, shout out to Zach Collins. I just don't know why we were doing that, Chad, when we had Charles Bassey right there. So, honestly, Charles Bassey, San Antonio, if it's going to be the same thing, I say don't come back. I think you're good enough to go play minutes somewhere else. So, actually go get yourself a job. Or not, hey, what are we saying, chat? I mean, go get yourself, IT, cut that out. Let's take this again. Go get yourself some real minutes in the NBA. We're trying to be complimentary here, chat. We're telling Charles Bassey to go get a job. Hey, yeah, we're not telling him to start, preparing the international leagues. We actually think he can play minutes here. Like, Charles Bassey on the Magic I think that's actually perfect, chat. Like, Charles Bassey on the Magic is definitely the type of guy. And again, they still have Wendell Carter as well, too, if I'm not mistaken. So, that's the type of guy that could give them some center minutes in the playoffs if they need to. Absolutely. I believe, chat. I believe. But this is this is a trade that I think it really depends on your philosophy, I think, at this point of trading those amount of picks. And for how you feel about Bane as well, too, over these last couple of years for him as a guy. But, again, he doesn't necessarily need to be the franchise guy. So that is, again, the problem what I'm saying, comparing it to the Giannis sort of inflation aspect of this is, okay, so now we're in the point in the NBA where we're trading 4 first-round picks for the 4th best guy on the team. But also, that's how good the NBA is at this point as well, too, that there is this many good players available, but also, you do have to be smart with how you are, the assets that you're pouring into the individual spots in the roster. So I think, and I know, shout out to Bill Simmons. He's been saying on his pod that the Spurs probably more likely to get the Durant than Giannis, and I feel like just vibes the internet that does seem, if we were going with our heart, obviously, again, Giannis still the player that we would have higher on our wish list. But it does seem like if we were reading the internet at this point, if we had to make a bet, obviously Durant is the safer bet. Anyways, we're just randomly pulling up the Spurs in the trade machine. We're talking about the Magic. Hey, yo. But, again, with the Spurs, the De'Aaron Fox move was a great move because, I mean, De'Aaron Fox is exactly this type of guy, the type of guy that you probably should be trading in the modern NBA for 4 or 5 first-round picks for. But they made that move because it was like, okay, Trey Jones will give up a first here, and then I think, was it like 1 first and then a second or 2? Like, it was really not that much, chat, to get De'Aaron Fox. Like, that's why I think it becomes interesting that, one, there isn't just a deal in place at this point for De'Aaron Fox as well, too, as like, okay, lock him in long-term for the Spurs. And it's not like we, again, with Bridges, like, you look at these teams now and you go, oh, well, are they handicapped by trading him away because they feel like they need to get a bigger return on their investment in a trade? If they, do the Knicks now have to trade Bridges for 6 first-round picks to feel good about it because they haven't, achieved like a title as the team or something? So I guess I don't even know why we're on the Fox game logs here, chat. We're looking for his trade to the Spurs, but the Spurs don't feel necessarily handicapped by this move as well, too. It's like, oh, we need to prove that this was the right move by trading this guy. As part of a 3-team trade, traded by the Kings with McLaughlin to the Spurs. The Bulls traded Levine in a second to the Kings. The Kings traded Herter to the Bulls. The Spurs traded Zach Collins, Trey Jones, and a first to the Bulls. The Spurs traded City Sissoko, a 2025 first. Okay, so we did give up a couple of first-round picks in this deal, but a couple of seconds as well, too. Chicago also received. But again, not enough to be like, oh, we're tied down by trading De'Aaron Fox. Whatever sort of the player or the couple picks move back. And I'm trying to remember, this 2020, was it this 2027 first as well, too? Or maybe it was this 2025 first. Maybe it was this first because the Spurs still end up with 2. So it's not like the Kings have a first via the Spurs this year. Let me see. So let's go. I guess the Spurs have the Hawks pick, and then our own pick would have been the one that got the second. So did this pick have a protection on it here on the Tankathon? It doesn't look like it yet. So yeah, that whatever that 2025 pick was, maybe it gets rolled over. Oh wait, it'll say here. Chicago also received trades. Conditional 2025 pick is Chicago's own. Sacramento also received a trade exception as well too. The trade. We'll digest the trade a little bit better some other time, chat. But point being, like we're saying, is it's not that crazy type of trade. Like the Bane and Fox is even a little bit more, all NBA level as well too. Like a little bit more proven than Desmond Bane. So you start comparing to some of the trades, you're like, oh, is it a lot for Bane in there? But like you say, basically 3 future first round picks and then a pick swap for Desmond Bane is still not, again, just modern NBA. Like with the way we're programmed, it doesn't feel so crazy to me at this point. Again, it would feel crazier to me, like I was saying, to be honest, and I think if you go back and check the tapes, this is true, Chad. Like we were saying that we thought maybe the Spurs would get Giannis because, one, we had the cap space to be able to bring him in, but also could the league just rig it to where it's like, okay, the Bucks are okay with the 5 first-round pick, and then we could give the players up. We'd be trading 5 of the best the better players in the team as whatever to get Giannis back as well too. But it's like, okay, is there like a sneaky the Milwaukee did take 15% less than they probably should have in this deal to get a guy like to trade a guy like Giannis, or again, trading him to a destination that he wants to go is also part of the mechanics of the deal and treating Giannis fairly and all that stuff. But it's like, okay, it'd be more realistic if the Spurs were somehow able to, if the league waived the stipend rule so the Spurs could trade all of their first round picks for Giannis. And it's like, okay, well now the Spurs have to give up 10 first round picks and 5 players. Like that, again, that seems more likely now, or more in line with the price point for these trades and stuff. But this, again, it's more of a philosophy of team building and sort of for me anyways, it's a wait and see, because I still really like Bane as a player, and I like his role on this team next to Paolo, next to Franz, and I like the best version of him, how he potentially helps out all these guys. Again, because he could be a guy like, oh, Bane's cooking tonight, Bane's going to give you 25. Like, again, that is a fun part about this team. Like the Franz 3-point shooting thing is going to be still like, oh, can that number continue to be a consistent number the way that you want it to be in I guess 2025, 2026 for next year. But the ability for him to create offense for himself is obviously still there. Paolo has that. Suggs was definitely having that a little bit more, even though he's still playing off some of the guys with the 3-point shooting a little bit, I think. But even still, it's like, okay, Suggs' capabilities as a player just continue to get better, and his impact on the team is just as important as any of these guys. And now Bane, again, is he a number 1 shot creator type guy? But if the mismatches are there and he's cooking, it's like, oh, Bane is going to give us 27 in a playoff game and swing this playoff game. And the next night, Franz is going to be, oh, yeah, Paolo and Franz are them consistent self. They're both at 28 and being awesome. And then this is the Suggs game, the next game. And then, oh, yeah, Anthony Black is also a better player now. And then, excuse me, chat. Whatever there's the Jet Howard game where he hit like 4 threes off the bench as well too. So here, wait, let's go team rankings cap tracker and see what they have. And Bane is, I think, under contract for a little bit, but with the way the salary's growing as well too, it's not like it's a crazy unmaneuverable deal, I would assume. So they are, okay, 23rd in cap. They are starting to get a little bit more expensive, but they also have more guys, it looks like, as well too. Their roster is a little bit more rounded out compared to some of the other teams. So wait, can we go, where's the multi-year table here at chat? Yeah, multi-year. Here we go. 8 in total cap allocations. So, yeah, Franz at 38, Bane at 36. So Bane will be at $44 million in 28-29. Again, Bane is still a little like could it be like the 18 points feels a little, his 18 points a game feels a little hollow, and you're like, we're paying 44 million for 18 points a game, sure, but also in this, if we're going the Celtics model that we just saw in the Eastern Conference, this is also kind of that Celtics model. Like, I'm looking at the salary cap table, and this does resemble that salary cap table at this similar point in the careers that Paolo and Franz are at right now, than kind of Tatum and Brown were at, compared to where they're at right now. Because obviously right now, they've won the finals, of course, but the regular season accolades, they've stacked up the All-NBAs, they're nearing decade-long runs as well too, 7-8 seasons. Like, they're just way more expensive max players at this point, where at least even still on their second contract, because that's the part that gets forgotten about as well too. And again, with the way the salary cap is expanding, the way the contracts are expanding, the second contract is, bigger than it used to be for sure, but you do still potentially have 2 contracts with the guy to maneuver the team. Like, maybe I could be wrong. I, go back and study the NFL salary cap a little bit more, but like with the quarterbacks, you go, you have the rookie deal, and then you can just be a quarterback. You just get paid as a quarterback. Like Mahomes, he goes like Mahomes is the 10th pick in the draft, to now all of a sudden Mahomes is on a $450 million contract, like a 10-year lifetime deal with Kansas City. Like, you can just go from being the guy, to the guy all of a sudden. You're the highest paid guy in the league. Like, here, I guess, quick NFL salary cap detour chat to see if I'm thinking about this the right way here, because this is an interesting comparison as well too. I guess Spotrack's gonna make us pay to look back in time. Hey, yo, chat, get in the time machine and see what the previous contracts are. But I guess, you can see what not the year by year breakdown here, but you can see the full contract. He goes, his rookie contract 2020 to 2024, 4 years, 26 million, and then he signs a 5-year, $52 million a year, 23 to 2029, immediately just right up with the highest paid quarterbacks in the league. So, $52 million a year is now, like a third team All-NBA. That's Towns' salary. So is Herbert a little bit? Well, Herbert and Towns is not, I think, too far. Towns is more accomplished in the playoffs than Herbert is at this point, so we got to give him his fair credit. But, again, you could just have that rise where, at least in the NBA, it's still scalable to, and I guess my point being, in that second contract that you had, those years like 4 to 8, you can still be outplaying your value, even though, of course, you're not on the rookie contract. Oh, yeah, it's awesome that Wemby. But I think, and maybe even hot take chat, like that second contract could be even more important than that rookie contract. Because again, first 4 years, like how many guys are actually going to be that guy in 4 years? Like, if you get that guy that is that guy in 4 years, then it doesn't even really matter what contract he's on. It's like he's just a guy. He's worth whatever the dollar amount is. The team's going to be okay because this guy's just so good that in his 4th year, we're already, again, it's like LeBron, it's Michael, it's those type of guys. But even the next tier down, or the next couple of tiers down, or whatever, like a guy like Paolo, a guy like Franz or whatever, like you see it with Shea right now for the Thunder. Like the Thunder are still able to benefit. Shea's next contract is going to have to factor in the fact that he just won the league MVP. Like, what happens when you win the league MVP in 2025? You make a lot of money. You know what happens when you make 3rd team All-NBA in 2025? You make $70 million, like Jaylen Brown. So, I mean, Shea's going to make $100 million on his next contract per year. Or his $75 million a year, whatever the number is going to be. It's going to be an insane amount. But the point is, of course, he can still outplay his value at this point. The Magic, like Paolo at $38 million a year, it's not his rookie contract. But again, a guy that could be the face of the franchise, if you're actually paying him what he's worth, is a $75-80 million. And, the off-the-market stuff, Caitlin Clark's $1 billion a year player. You can't actually pay her what her worth, even if she was in the NBA. But, again, that second contract, like Wemby, years 4 to 8, when you're actually entering the stride of your career, and it's like, okay, my skills and confidence are now lining up to where I can start going toe-to-toe with the guys. Like, the Edwards contract is interesting for that right now as well, too, because he's kind of in that second run of his contract where, this is that year where it's like, okay, we can still take advantage of him being a little bit cheaper than he should be, but his skills gonna, is he gonna make sure that he's at the peak of his powers in time? Because Tatum, it was close, chat. It took all of those years in those first couple of contracts to make it to the finals and finally get to this point. And now that he's locked in, he's making what's his deal, chat? Like three. Here, we'll pull the Tatum deal back up and remind ourselves, because I think he might be like 350, which is, whew, I'm hesitant even throwing out that number, but 313. Okay, 350 is a lot, chat. Hey yo, but we're not too far off. Add another year. So yeah, Tatum is $71 million a year, and Tatum never has won the league MVP as well too. Like, we haven't actually seen this situation where Shea is at, because Doncic hasn't won an MVP yet either, right, Chad? I'm not crazy, because the only people that have won MVPs the last couple of years have been Jokic, Giannis, and Embiid. So Doncic hasn't won the league. Doncic has been the first team All NBA, but he's not going to have the salary cap rise that maybe the MVP. So I don't know if the MVP raise is the same as the just like a first team All NBA raise, but I'm assuming you get a little bit more of a boost than that as well too. So because again, a guy like Jokic still gets a boost for being MVP and first team All NBA, but he's also in a more veteran contract standpoint at this point. Once he won the MVP, he won the MVPs a little bit later in his career compared to where Shea is at, obviously. But anyways, back to what we were saying about the Magic. This run that the Celtics were just in, to where now they get to the point where it's like, oh, they're priced out, they're getting too expensive. But you had Tatum here, I guess. Oh, back to Tatum one more time. What was that last contract he was just on? So I guess this year will be the first year. Okay, Chad, he's going to be sitting easy on that Achilles injury. Hey, yo, he's not going to, Tatum's a competitor. He's going to be locked in. Sam's going to be getting rebound form out in Boston, just making sure Tatum's in the lab, ready to go, back and healthy. But sitting on $54 million a year, not having to play, is not bad. But yeah, the previous contract that he was on, 5 years, $163 million, $32 million a year. Yeah, previous CBA, but also, again, so here we go. All NBA. No All NBA. So wait a second. I guess that would have been the first couple of years. So he would have made the All NBA again in that second contract. But either way, if he had been All NBA as a rookie, less than $200 million as a year still, and then Tatum obviously becoming the player that he is still able to outplay a $195 million player in the playoffs, winning a title at the end of the day. But the Magic are just in that standpoint where this is sort of the Drew Holiday move, where you can have a couple of those a little bit more, pay a little bit more for your fourth and fifth player, because again, your first and second player are going to continue to improve their games and get better as well too, and be those franchise type guys. So, and Bane, even a little bit more younger, maybe even fits the long-term versatility with whatever you're building for that team as well too. And again, for the Celtics, they only had Tatum and Brown, Tatum and Brown. But I guess the point being, they had two guys to build around from a franchise standpoint. At least if you're the Magic, you have three lineup guys to build around as well too. Like, there is still the case, obviously. Would you take Jalen and Jason? Would you take Tatum and Brown, the duo, over Banchero, Wagner, and Suggs, the trio? Tatum and Brown won a title, so again, you'd probably take that combination. But just in terms of, okay, the pieces we need to assemble as we build this roster, you have Tatum in Banchero, hopefully, and you have Brown in Wagner, hopefully, but you also have Jalen Suggs as well too, and they were kind of moving around that. So I guess Suggs would be the Derek White. Like, you went out and acquired Derek White. Like, they already have Derek White with Jalen Suggs. So yeah, now Bane basically becomes the Drew Holiday. And again, Drew Holiday defensively really stepped up in the playoffs for him, hit some really big clutch buckets, and just was like he was just a great, like, again, Porzingis offensively could check into the game and just hit like 4 shots in a row and swing the game in the finals. But Holiday was the big guy, like, third quarter kind of, okay, we need a stabilizing force. Is the other team starting to come back? Is the other team starting to pull? Like, Holiday, just the timely buckets that Holiday had throughout the playoffs, and then his defense as well too. Like, he just came up clutch for him that entire run. Like, Bane obviously has to replicate that Hey, yo, the step up factor again. Shout out to Simmons, but Bane would still have to replicate that obvious step up factor that Holiday had in the playoffs. But still, in terms of the role parts of it, they've got that spot kind of hopefully filled in the future. So now again, the last part kind of becomes, like I was saying, the Porzingis part if you're assembling sort of the full version of the team. So could Wendell Carter be the Porzingis, chat? You can't write it out for sure. Again, we like Wendell Carter on the REMINGTOM pod. I guess we'll have to, get an update on. Did we text Sam? What do you think about Wendell Carter Jr. Going into the 2025-2026 season? But maybe we'll get a refresh on his Magic takes. Obviously, next time he is locked in, and Mo Wagner as well too. I guess could Mo Wagner continue to level up as a player and be the Porzingis? That we would delusionally think so, or not even delusionally, but just optimistically, I guess we should say, we would believe in Mo Wagner's talents. And you want to keep, I think you got to keep the Wagner brothers. 11 million, it doesn't matter the price. The good vibes to have the Wagner brothers on the team together, chat, I think you got to pay for that. So maybe Betazde would be the center on the move. As well, and the Gary Harris team option, Corey, there's some team options in here. I guess they could decline, even the Wagner one, I guess as well too. But they're gonna, and him on a 1 year deal, unrestricted free agency the next year. Like you'd imagine, you'd keep a backup center for, especially as good as Mo Wagner, a backup center for an $11 million. Like we again just saw Steven Adams get, more than $11 million a year from the Rockets. So again, I'm still kind of that move. I got to be honest, chat. The two offseason moves that we've seen so far: Steven Adams re-signed for 3 years, $39 million, and Bane traded for 4 first-round picks. I think I'd rather trade for Bane, to be honest. 4 first-round picks. But Ayo, shout out to Steven Adams. Get your money, brother. It is what it is. But Isaac what are we doing here? Isaac goes non-guaranteed for the rest of his contract. So that is some nice versatility as well too. $8 million guaranteed, 0-0 on the last 2 years. So next year, only 8 of the $14.5 million guaranteed for Jonathan Isaac, 15 this year. Still defensively, again, he's going to be a guy that you think you'd want for a playoff series. So yeah, free agency wise, I guess there's not much they can do. Does it say what they have here for exceptions? Again, now we're in a Rosillo bag, looking up what exceptions this team has. But I thought it did, chat. Maybe not. Oh, we're on the multi-year here. Let's go back to the overview and see what we have, because they're not going to be able to, again, acquire the free agent. So you're going to have the minimum contracts that you could work with, and then whatever sort of moves they have. But I don't think it's going to list it on here as well too. Just the cap holds, huh? Interesting, chat. I thought that would have tax, cap, cash, multi-year contracts. Okay, let's just go contracts. See if this tab has it as well too. I would have assumed that it did, but I guess not. Spotrac, step it up. Or is that in the Spotrac premium, chat? Hey, yo. Making us pay to see what kind of mid-level exceptions they have is a crazy move by Spotrac. But we understand the hustle. We understand the business plan, so we got to respect it. But, chat, they've got the most expensive roster in the league right now. I think it was, again, because they have the most players in the league. So that's definitely, as the other teams just, there was teams that were already kind of more expensive than them anyways without the players. So I don't know what that number was. We were just looking at cap allocations, whatever it was, chat. But, yeah, it'll be a fun time. I guess, is there automatic movement in the FanDuel odds here for Orlando as of right now? And again, pre-draft, sort of all of the trades is interesting. Do the Bucks go the other way and they're like, okay, do we need to find are we going to get a star player, but are we I was going to say, are they a Drew Holiday team, chat? Hey, they would have probably loved to have been. The fans would have loved to continue to have been a Drew Holiday team. But are they a C-tier star kind of make a minor move? A Chris Middleton team. Hey, chat, just bring back one of your old players. But 25-26 champion. So here we go. Finals winner for next year, chat. OKC plus 220, of course. Cleveland plus 850. New York 950. Minnesota 12-1. Indiana 12-1 to win the finals next year. Lock it in, chat. Houston 13-1. Boston 14-1 to win the title. Hey, yo, they think they're going to trade somebody, but is that a sign, chat? The line at 14-1, are they going to be this good without Tatum? But the Lakers 14-1. Orlando is at 16-1. Orlando has worse odds to win the title than Boston. And I know that this is updated. I'm going to say this is pretty current, chat. This is pretty current. I think FanDuel is usually on. They're not going to let the odds. They're not going to be like, oh, yeah, we can let a couple hours go by before we update the odds. And just however many bets are placed in those couple hours, well, just deal with it. But they have the same amount of odds as the Nuggets. So, Denver, Jokic has the same amount of odds to win the title as anybody in the league. But the Spurs at 23-1. Okay, now we're just getting disrespectful, chat. Spurs less than the Clippers? I don't know, guys. If you had to bet right now, if you just had to pick, if we were just doing pick a random team pool, and you drafted, out of a hat, the Clippers or the Spurs, you're definitely feeling better about the Spurs over the Clippers. So that is interesting, chat. Let's just, finals preview for next year after one offseason move. But that is an interesting way to just take the names out of the hat, take the odds off of it. Minnesota versus Orlando. At least, and again, is it now, this is the benefit of having the most expensive team in the league, is we don't know what these other teams are. So it's like, okay, well, I don't know what Minnesota is quite yet. I know what Orlando's going to be. I guess I just take Minnesota, again, in June. Or I guess I take Orlando, at this point in June. But them being less odds than Boston at this point is a little crazy. Maybe I'm missing something there, chat. But you would assume that, again, with Tatum out, Paolo is the best player between those two teams. Jaylen Brown is still the second best player. But then Orlando might have the next several best players in that matchup, chat. Like Peyton Pritchard is, again, of 17, 18 points a game next year. Maybe Peyton Pritchard scores 21 a game next year for Boston. But maybe Peyton Pritchard gets some regular season achievements as well too. Maybe some starter level achievements for Boston. I don't know what kind of ceiling we want to put on it there, chat. But even Peyton Pritchard at 21 a game, I would still think, okay, I'd rather have Franz, the best version. Again, best version of everybody, obviously. So, okay, the best version of Pritchard, is he 29 a game? Who knows? But, I would still think more of that lower 20-point a game range, potentially. But, is the best version of Peyton Pritchard Tyler Hero? And it'd be Tyler Hero with a little bit more defense as well, too. But, offensively, is it Tyler Hero? And then, like I said, with that two-way game. But Franz, okay, I still, again, in June, would rather have Franz. June 15th, chat. I'm still, our player rankings, Franz over Pritchard. I would still want to have Suggs over Pritchard. Just, Suggs seemed a little bit more dynamic both ways. Defensively can maybe be a little bit better against some of the top talent in the league, even though, again, Pritchard's really good. And offensively a little bit more explosive as well too, though Pritchard's handle obviously is really great as well too. But and then Bane versus Pritchard, again, I'm just biased, sort of just old school. I'm not necessarily changing my way of or updating the player rankings enough to what we're seeing year to year, but I would still think the best version of Desmond Bane is still better than Peyton Pritchard. So again, you still have Porzingis on this team. You still, at this point, have Drew Holiday, though it would seem like that's probably not. And, we didn't mention Derek White again. Or who else am I forgetting? Horford, how Luke Cornett, they bring him back. We get the names, chap. But still, I would think that Magic lineup would be better than Boston. Indiana, obviously, they are a team that is in the finals right now, so I wouldn't even be mad. I would assume that they would have, why wouldn't they be the number one team in the East? Honestly, Indiana over New York is kind of like, New York is one of those teams. Are we certain that New York is going to run it back? Like they don't even have a coach yet. So New York without a coach is 950, and Indiana is 12-1. So I guess they didn't actually play in the playoffs this. Or no, wait, why am I tweaking, chat? Why am I tweaking? I'm just thinking the Knicks Celtics series, but yeah, Knicks Pacers. So they already proved that they could take down the Knicks in a playoff series. Like, I don't understand. I guess I was just thinking, like, okay, did they actually beat the Knicks? Because then you would think that would actually help the odds, but apparently not, chat. Apparently not. So, FanDuel, they're making me question, did I even watch the playoffs this year? And you got the Knicks at number 2, Pacers, and then the Rockets. And again, I don't know if the East factors into this at all, chat, but I think it kind of has to. And the Rockets being at 13-1 versus the Magic being at 16-1. Again, the Rockets at this point, they're still could they trade for Giannis or Durant aspect to the offseason, that maybe their team is better in a couple of weeks than it is right now. So 13-1 is actually, a little bit of a, they're kind of splitting the difference a little bit. But again, current lineups, the Magic in the East versus the Rockets in the West, that's a tough one, chat. That is a tough one to think about in June at this point. But I am going to be very excited, of course, to see what this trade turns into, because I kind of like it for both teams. I like the picks. I'm going to be interested. Obviously, the Grizzlies are now a little bit more of a watch and see team for this offseason. And this is maybe what they were saying, like guys like Windhorst were saying when they were saying that this is going to be maybe the most exciting offseason ever, is, it's just the unpredictability of what could happen. Like, this is not necessarily a move like, oh yeah, would have locked this one into the trade machine as well too. Because again, you just never know what the teams are ready to think about in that aspect. If I was running either of these teams, like what I have thrown, and again, I don't necessarily gravitate toward like, okay, let's go for the 5 first-round picks in a deal and take a couple of contracts back. I feel like sometimes when as fans, when we're working the trade machine a little bit, we can go to try to even the talent in the player portion of the trade a little bit more. But again, I think teams will value that pick aspect as well too, enough to make concessions there. But this is not a trade that I would have automatically have gone to cook up for in the trade machine. But you would assume that the Magic would be a little bit more set. And again, the bigger moves as well too. Like I guess to go back to what we were saying earlier, and I guess there's a lot that we could continue to say about this. It's just, gone in 60 seconds. Hey, yo, chat. Not the analysis of the Magic trade, I guess. But 60 minutes later. But what were we saying? Oh yeah, the ability for them to make the big move long term is what I was thinking about when we originally started. Was like, okay, you're giving up the 4 first-round picks, but again, you have all of this talent in the player lineup aspect of it, where now you're a little Cleveland-y in that way, where, okay, and again, you're not necessarily, like, Cleveland is a second apron team. I don't think that they are a second, here, where's the second apron on this as well, too? I don't think they were quite a second apron team yet, which is important because, again, not only is there the, all of the rules, but just the simple rules that we do know. Like, you can aggregate guys in a trade. You could potentially combine a couple of the salaries together if you need to, versus Cleveland has to find just a 1-for-1, or not a 1-for-1 deal, but they can only trade one player from their team at a time to a given team. So let's see here. Wait, are they a second apron team, chat? Hey, yo, minus 29 mil in the second apron. Second apron space. So they might be handicapped. Let's see here. I think it lists it for this way. Or we just go back team tax. Because it's second apron, but then it'll give them like a hard capped designation as well too. Dead cap. Here, let's go tax or apron space, chat. Here we go. They have a whole new tab on SpoTrack now just dedicated to the apron. You love to see it. Just continuing to make things more complicated. So second apron is hard cap. So I guess there's two different versions of it. Of course, you can be in the second apron and hard capped, or you could be in the second apron and not hard capped, I guess. But second apron space, Brooklyn. Oh, Memphis also has a ton of cap space as well too. I guess they had a ton of cap space. Either way. So where is Orlando? Oh yeah, chat. So Orlando, just they're screwed. It is what it is. Second apron. I guess that is because Boston would have Boston would have assembled that team before the second apron, chat. Again, this was really the first or second year with that second apron thing. So again, maybe they played together under the second apron, but they would have made a couple of those. I think they made the Holiday move in the Porzingis, definitely the Porzingis move for sure. I think both those moves that offseason would have been before the second apron. So, a little, not necessarily that obviously the Magic are still able to get the moves made. And then, the second apron walks in, the Celtics kind of get locked in with their team, and now we're seeing the effects of that. So I guess, again, we'll just see how it plays out for Orlando. But I would have thought I thought they had a little bit more second apron space. But it doesn't say they're hard capped either. So it doesn't say Phoenix is hard capped. But that's hilarious that the Magic now have more, more expensive than Phoenix. But Phoenix, of course, has like 7 guys signed on their roster. So that is a little bit problem. They'll be hard capped in no time, chat. Ayo, make no mistake. Sign a couple players back. Yeah, they only have 10 guys right now. They're already they don't even have a roster. And they're already $11 million over the second apron. Hey, yo, chat. Hey, yo. I don't know if we can do math real quick, but wait, where's their cash total? So they're paying like $20 million a year for each player. Hey, yo, I don't even know if that's correct, but that is a little, even a little bit more, like 21 point, almost $22 million a year per guy on the team. So, the revenue sharing is not actually happening between Durant and Iguodala. It's not like they're splitting the paychecks, but it does equal, at least average out that way on paper. So, hey, paying $55 million combined for Durant and Iguodala is not bad. Do you just have to start looking at it that way, Chad? If you're the Sun, you're like, okay, $55 million combined for Durant and Iguodala is not bad. $56 million combined for Booker and Ryan Dunn's not bad, but $58 million combined for Beal and whoever else is, Okogie is a little rougher. That is rough. Hey, yo, Chad. Hey, yo. But, yeah, Orlando, with as expensive as they are, this is a good, well, that, again, I guess with the second apron, I don't know how you want to be expensive, chat. Do you want to be so top heavy that you can trade just the one contract away for the 6 contracts, or do you want to have it split up a little bit over the couple? Again, the Thunder and the Pacers are a little bit more of salary managed teams, of course, but it could just be those teams are just talented, and obviously the Thunder have a ton of talent and the Pacers have a ton of talent, and the East just got really injured up this year as well too. So again, I don't know if it's messing in with some of this stuff as well too. And a guy like De Silva as well too, we weren't necessarily thinking about him earlier, but De Silva can be a rotation guy for sure in the wing. We really like some of the minutes that he gave them. So you think Isaac at $15 million a year, like there is a potential other move here, chat. There are moves to be made. I don't know. They had 20 picks in the future, so they gave up this 16 pick. They gave up the pick swap here in 26, and then they gave up their own 20. What did they give up? 28 and 30 unprotected. So, hey, yo. But, whoa. So, you start going into 31, 27, 29, stipend rule, what's allowed there. But, again, are they going to trade for Giannis at this point? Then, like, Suggs and Franz have to be on the table. But I guess if we can stay on the train of thought here, chat, like, they can. So, here, wait, let's put this trade in the trade machine. Hey, yo, maybe we should do that. Has this trade already gone through? Wait, where's Cole Anthony? Oh, okay, Cole Anthony's still here. Okay. So, let's see. $8.4 million in second apron space. Only 3. But see, them being in the first apron just even a little bit would mean that there is going to have to be an evenness in the salary. So I don't know if they'd be able to take on like a ton of Bane's salary that like, oh, now we're way shot up into the second apron, So $36 million. You've got Pope at 21 and Cole Anthony at 13. And we do know the picks. Well, we won't throw those in the trade machine because we don't have to worry about those from a salary standpoint. So Orlando. Okay, so yeah, it's saying here that Orlando is still in the still have some second apron space. So yeah, they would still be able to aggregate guys in a trade going forward. And again, a guy like Paolo is going to make more. So that's another thing as well too. You get to trade for Bane while Paolo is even on that rookie contract. He hasn't even hit that next stage yet. So I guess once Paolo goes into that next contract, they will be a second apron team. So wait a second. Am I reading the spreadsheet right here? So yeah, Paolo at 15, but I don't think they've re-signed him yet, chat, to that long-term deal. But if you're Paolo, you'd want to wait as well too, because there is that All-NBA potential. So you don't want to start negotiating too early. So yeah, restricted free agency. They're putting a hold on him here at $38 million for that first year. So yeah, Paolo, again, facing the franchise, you're paying him $40 million a year. Steal. But yeah, so Bane is there. So Isaac at $15 million, 4 years. Mo Wagner, as much as we love him 1 year, and then Wendell Carter, $10 million. You've got still you know, 30 plus million in salary to work with there. Bitsa does 40 million in salary and then a couple of picks. And then Anthony Black, you know, as well too, if you feel like it's a real win, it had to be like a lock it in, win now type upgrade. But they're not off the table, chat. Again, I don't know if we can get as creative as these Magic GMs have gotten here with bringing in another name. And who would be, you know, are they actually trading for a $30 million a year player, or is it a little bit of a smaller move than that? So again, I don't know if we go front court or wing. You know, are they trading? What if it was Jonathan Isaac for? Oh, chat. I don't know if we're cooking now here. This is just okay. Now we're just bringing up favorite guys for the trade machine this year. But what if it was like a Jonathan Isaac for Norm Powell type deal? Again, totally different types of players. Obviously, you're losing a wing defender. And I was saying, you know, that front court defense, even though Isaac is not necessarily like a true center, you know, maybe, you know, if we're seeing the Siakam, Turner, like maybe some more floor spacey type bigs in the Eastern Conference next year, maybe Isaac can compete with all these guys, even if it's not, you know, quite Giannis or Embiid. But if you want to go more scoring, perimeter shooting as well too, like you can almost just do that trade straight up, chat. Oh, almost cut 5.4 million from the Magic incoming deal. So it would be a little 2-for-1 deal here. Jet Howard and Jonathan Isaac. Okay, too much, chat, for Norm Powell. Jet Howard, untouchable. It is what it is. But that is still something there, chat. Like, to be honest, you know, do you get super crazy? Go 1 year for Harden, chat. Hey, yo, $36 million a year. Jonathan Isaac and Mo Wagner together. Again, that's too much. For Jonathan, you know, trading both your centers for James Harden. What are we doing? Can we combine those for increased center salary? Sven Goon, chat. Would the Rockets take Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter in a pick for Sven Goon? And now we just supercharge the offense. You're not getting the defensive thing there. Gobert? If you want to just completely destroy your books, chat, you bring in Gobert? Hey, yo, call the Grizzlies back, see if they want Jaren Jackson, so you get Jaren Jackson too. Sabonis from the Kings, probably a little bit too expensive. Anthony Davis? Would Nico Harrison take a pick for Anthony Davis? And you still, I guess, have 25 even this year as well too. Like 25 is probably even less likely. And that's, they trade that, or they get a guy that's like $2-3 million a year, and maybe he becomes a rotation guy as well too going forward. I mean, that's still a valuable asset potentially for the team. You know, Mark Williams the Hornets might actually like him now and want to keep him around. Maybe a guy like Ayton, chat. What about a guy like DeAndre Ayton? Again, you know, Klingon would be, or Robert Williams. You know, there's not a lot of consistency, unfortunately, with our guy Robert Williams, and who knows what space he's in at this point in his career. But a career revitalization for Robert Williams in Orlando could be kind of fun. Ayton is a little expensive and on a 1-year deal. You know, are you going to want to re-sign him, and then now you're trading away future assets for a 1-year deal type guy? But I guess Wendell Carter at 26 years old for Ayton at 26 years old. Again, Wendell Carter at 10 million, Ayton at 35 million is definitely a little bit of a difference, chat. Hey, yo. But Batazde at 8 million, that's only going to get you to 18. So it would need to be almost a 3-for-1 for Ayton. But, well, see, the Blazers are the ones with cap space in this scenario. So they'd be the ones that would be able to absorb the contract the other way. But that'd be an interesting player, obviously, if there was a deal for him there. The Raptors? The Raptors have to have somebody that the Magic could get. Hey, yo. Pirtle? $19 million a year for Pirtle? Chat? I guess you start thinking, is Pirtle Carter an upgrade? Again, that Wendell Carter contract is not bad, chat. $10 million a year? Carter could be definitely a guy that we still all believe in as like a 15-point-a-game scorer, potentially. And is he going to get that kind of volume? But still, could definitely give it that kind of minutes. So maybe Wendell Carter, you know, we start having second-chance thoughts for him on, like, the Lakers at some point. I don't know. Austin Reeves for Wendell Carter? Is it like a Hachimura and Vanderbilt situation for Jonathan Isaac and Wendell Carter, and now the Lakers are throwing a pick back the other way? I don't know why the Lakers would necessarily do that. There's probably not quite enough there. You know, connect in that deal. Connect and Hachimura for Isaac and Wendell Carter. It's a little random, chat. I don't even know if it's worth throwing out if the salaries are even close to matching here. That's going to get you to 25 mil for both those guys. That might actually be close. Hachimura, 1-year deal. Again, a wing, better perimeter shooter than Jonathan Isaac. Maybe we can still give you some of the rebounding and front court versatility. Wait, who did we say? Connect? Connect might be too valuable, chat. Connect and Reeves both, though, together. But then you do get, your quote-unquote center if you're a Lakers fan in a way. So, yeah, you could do this. And it's 2+ wins for the Lakers on the trade machine. So, Hachimura and Connect for Carter and Isaac. I don't know, chat. I'm a little split on that one because, again, the Connect as a 3-point shooter. I think the Magic fans might like this. They might. Again, you're losing a lot of front court minutes, but you're bringing Hachimura back who can definitely take the Wendell Carter minutes. You're thinking more Batazde center minutes at that point, and then more Mo Wagner center minutes. And then you're thinking as well, too, you're probably going to run more Paolo at the 5 and then bring in guys like Tristan Da Silva and, Anthony Black more minutes as well, too. More small ball stuff, potentially. So then you have Connect and Bane, and now you have a lot of wings out there as well, too. You can start getting real experimental. Connect, Bane, Jalen Suggs, and Anthony Black, all 4 of them could be a fun core in there as well, too, chat. But I don't know. Should we get to the movie at some point? I feel like we could queue it up. We could ramble about trades all day. Should we check ESPN again just to make sure we didn't miss another trade, chat? Hey, yo, what's going on? Check out some of these baseball scores or something. Let's see what we got here, chat. Okay, yeah, just the one move. Durant trying to get his way into a different team, of course, but the offseason has started, chat. Desmond Bane to the Magic. Hey, yo, shout out. This should be a fun one here. So, yeah, let's take a quick break and then queue up the... Oh, wait a second. Let me check, chat. Which, is it Tubi? I think it's on Tubi, but it might... Gone in 60 Seconds, it might be on another one as well, too. It might be on one of the... It might be on a paid service here. Let's see. Gone. Wait, best movies with the title Gone in it, chat? So we go... You search Gone on IMDb. I don't know if IMDb is an algorithm. I don't think you get Gone Girl, Ben Affleck, 2014. Gone Baby Gone, Morgan Freeman, 07. Gone with the Wind, 1939. And then Gone in 60 Seconds, Nicolas Cage, 2000. So 25 years later, chat, the 4th best movie that starts with the word gone of all time. Gone in 60 Seconds. The 4th best movie with the title starting with the word gone. One of the best car racing movies of all time. I don't know what all the qualifiers are, chat. One of the best movies with 35 on Metacritic as well, too. But yeah, it's streaming on Tubi, chat, right now. So we're going to go to break. Fire up your Tubis while we fire up our Tubies. Ayo, is that a pause? I don't know, chat. But Gone in 60 Seconds. We'll be right back. Nicolas Cage stealing cars up next. Testing 1, 2, 3. There we go. Welcome back, chat. We are live, cooking, ready to go. Cue it up on your tubies, chat. Gone in 60 Seconds is up next. Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie, 2025 years later, chat. It still holds up. And I'm not going to lie, you know, before we went to break, we were saying the fourth best movie with the title to start with the word gone. But that is a pretty stacked Mount Rushmore, chat. Like, here, let me pull that back up. Gone with the Wind, Gone in 60 Seconds, Gone Baby Gone. I don't know, Gone with the Wind is the first one there. But I guess the legacy rankings, I don't know, chat. But just to get it accurate, Gone Girl, Gone Baby Gone, Gone with the Wind, and then Gone in 60 Seconds. And then there's also just Gone 2012. Again, this is IMDb search. Oh, this is also on Tubi, chat. Hey, yo, a woman is convinced. Oh, here, wait a second. Okay, well, here, we'll not get too distracted, chat. Let's 3, 2, 1. We're pressing play, chat. It's loading. It's loading. It's firing up. Tubi's programming. Okay, ad 101, or I guess 1 of 2 is playing right now. So we'll let you know when officially it starts at 0 seconds. So, you know, if you guys want to sync up, of course, you can as well. But I was thinking, of course, you know, the obvious easy comparison for this movie just in general is the Fast and Furious franchise being a car-chased, car heist movie. But for movie titles, you have Fast and Furious, and then I was thinking Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But other movies that start with Fast, maybe there's Michael Fassbender, the actor, but I don't know for actual movie titles if I couldn't think of another one for that as well too. And you know, franchises don't count for this, of course. You know, it's not the John Wick franchise. I guess, like, of course, those are all John Wick titles. Like, that just goes into one category. So, like, Heat. I'm trying to think. Is there a bunch of like Heat around the corner? Maybe that was going to be an opposite title for Heat, chat. But here, I guess. Hey, yo, we're going to the chat GPT early. So, we forgot to tell you, chat. We're starting up. We're firing. We got the Tombstone. Oh, Touchstone. Hey, yo. Touchstone Pictures graphic loading up. So, firing up. Gone in 60 seconds. This is a fun one, chat. If you haven't seen it yet, then, I mean, you're in for just a good old time on a Sunday afternoon. If you've seen it, then, I mean, you're also in for a good old time on a Sunday afternoon, chat. But, okay, list of movies with, and I guess we're not looking just for all of the movies in general, but, list of movies that start with the word fast. And let's see what we get. Of course, we're going to get the Fast and Furious franchise. So just all of the Fast and Furious movies. So it literally, ChatGPT literally, I guess I didn't think I was a database of film knowledge like that, chat. But it literally just is the Fast and Furious movies and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. But also Fast Company, 1979, David Cronenberg. Fast and Loose, romantic comedy. Fast and Furious, 1939. And, just a bunch of 30s movies in there. Fast, Cheap, and Out of Control, 1970. Oh, some documentaries. And then some animated Fast movies as well, too. Wait, so is there some Hey, yo, chat. Fast and Furious franchise titles. Because maybe if there isn't, on the same level, chat, then Gone, I think, would still be in the lead. Let me see here. So Fast Color, Fast Cheap, and again, Fast. Oh, Fast Ball? 2016, a baseball documentary. And then just all of the other Fast ones that we listed as well, too. So yeah, chat, it really is just the Fast and Furious and Fast Times at Ridgemont High. So Gone is with the win. Oh, there's Sleepless. We have the Sleepless, the Jamie Foxx movie, and then Sleepless in Seattle. But that's just 2, chat. So, I don't know, maybe, is there a way to ask this to ChatGPT simply? Is there... Oh, wait, we got to spell right. Is there a Mount Rushmore? Rushmore? Is there 4 movies that start with Rushmore? Rush? You got Rushmore and Rush. And then Rush Hour. Oh, that's 3, chat. I don't think Rush, shout out Chris Hemsworth, but I don't know if that holds up the same way as maybe some of the Gones do, but that is still, between Rush Hour and Rushmore, it's a pretty strong 1-2 combination. I don't know if Rushmore counts in that, but is there a Mount Rushmore of movies that start with the same word? So wait, should we do a quick second of thinking more, chat, before we just turn it over to the Chat GPT and just let it, in 2 seconds, just do all the research for us? Because for basketball ones, I guess Space Jam, you've got 2001, A Space Odyssey. Star Wars, there would be a lot of Star movies, I'm guessing. Again, Star Wars. A Star is Born, does that count, chat? See, that's a tricky one. I don't know if that counts. For the perfect sort of vibe of the title, I think you could technically count it, but I think it doesn't have the vibe of what we're going for. Again, the Gone is just perfect. It's just all of them start with it. And, shout out to Giovanni Ribisi here, chat. I guess we don't know necessarily all of the mechanics of this first break-in, but just, I guess we should say as well, too, spoiler alerts the entire time. We're watching this movie. We're talking about it the entire time we're watching it. So, a constant spoiler alerts. If you hadn't guessed that already. And the no spoiler version of the watch along, chat, we're not that good. We're not that talented yet. Maybe as time goes on. But for quick and efficient, again, in the Fast and Furious franchise and a lot of this stuff, the heisting is more about the driving abilities than the maneuverability of the heist itself. But even, again, I guess spoiler alert for all the movies, chat. We're going to go ring reverse style here on you. Spoiler alert for all movies. But even in Fast and Furious, there is some cleverness to the mechanics of even that last heist in Fast 5, even though that heist is built around the fact that it is very, destructive, loud, obvious heist. It's okay, we're going to be obvious to misdirect you from the fact that we're exchanging them at this point, and then, we're all going to be focused over here, and then, we're able to get away with it. But Ribisi's just no, we're just throwing a brick in the window. We're just driving this car out. So, again, you know, the movie's a fun, good time, and we need this initial scene to set up the fact that, Giovanni Ribisi's in trouble. But it is not obviously the smoothest. And, you know, right away flirting with a girl in a stolen car. Like, literally, they're not in a stolen car. They're in a car that just got stolen. Like, those are two little different things. Because a stolen car is, okay, you know, it's hot when you're driving it. Anytime you're on the street, maybe you're looking out, a little side eye. Like, you see a cop, you know, maybe you're making a turn as quickly as you can. But a car that has just been stolen is definitely like, oh, yeah, you know, they're setting up blocks. And they're looking for you. So, again, it just got stolen. But you're breaking in, you're throwing a brick in through as well, too. So you're not even worried about disalarming any systems or anything. It's just straight up. Again, the mechanic. Memphis Reigns, Nick Cage, for as great of a, you know, the legend of Nick Cage in this movie, for as great as he is as a car thief, the talents apparently did not transfer over to his brother. Which, again, is the point of the movie. They need Memphis to step in to help his brother steal all these cars. But I thought, you know, you're thinking that Giovanni Ribisi as well, too, does have talent as a car thief, but apparently not, chat. Just very smash and grab, AO type thieving style for him. Which, speaking of thief, like, you do have 1980 Thief. Den of Thieves is closed, chat, but again, starts with Den. So Den, is there a weird movies that start with Den sort of run? I don't think so. Wizard of Oz, The Wiz. Harlem? You have Harlem Nights. I think that's about it. New? See, that's a weird one. You start getting weird like that. Like New, I was thinking New Jack City. I guess, you know, how many versions with New in it. But Jump Street, maybe? Is there a bunch of jumps? Air? Oh, well, chat, let's just see what we get. Is there a Mount Rushmore of movies that words that start with the same title? Is Gone in 60 Seconds? Is Gone going to be the winner of this category? Let's see. Fast. So it's gonna definitely, again, ChatGPT. And I think they talked about this as well too. They're like, oh, you know, it has memory from the last conversation. It's like, well, sometimes I want a fresh start, chat. Hey, yo, you know, again, it's just saying that Fast is the Mount Rushmore, but you know, like you know, it's tough. Fast Color. Here, let me look this up. I guess, was that the documentary? Because if it's getting documentaries in there, you know, speaking of documentaries, like We Are, what's the name of that documentary, chat? We Are Kings. I forget the exact title of it, but no, We Are Kings is an album. What's the name of that? When We Were Kings is the when we, Ayo chat. When We Were Young, Adele, shout out. When We Were Kings. Yeah, that's the sports documentary. But Fast Color, 2018 film. Shout out Julia Hart. Oh, chat. Why am I blanking on the name? Who is starring in this film? That's the, speaking of Fast and Furious, she's in Fast and Furious. Oh, wait a second. And it's got the chick. Oh, no. This is the chick from what show? Loki, chat. Loki. I guess both of the girls I'm thinking about are from Loki, but the other one is in Sinners as well too. What is the name of the actor that is in Sinners and Loki? That is, I believe, this actor here. Oh, ayo, chat. I don't know why there wouldn't be an image on Wikipedia for her. She is definitely rising right now in prominence. Yeah, chat. So, Wanumi Wasaku is the Loki Sinners actor crossover. And then I guess, what's the name here? Gugu Mabatha Raw, chat. We're trying, but she would be the star from Loki, and I guess in this role as well too. But I was thinking that was who's the chick from Fast and Furious, chat, but she's also in Game of Thrones. What's her name? Natalia Emmanuel or something like that. I don't even know if ChatGPT is gonna bring it. Oh well, I think you guys get the idea of who we were talking about. So this is a superhero drama. Hey, this went under our radar, chat. Do we get a plot here? Tells the story of a woman with supernatural abilities on the run from law enforcement specialists who want to study and control her. Well, okay, chat. I guess there's only one thing to do, and that's just to go to the IMDb. I guess here, I want to pull up to the IMDb because you can see it, but I'm not logged in there. So I'm gonna add it into the watch list on our own IMDb chat. Fast color, or do we just need to get on Letterboxd? Start like a Letterboxd account. Oh, chat streaming on Pluto right now. Fast color, and Prime, and Cinemax, and Plex, as well too. 6.1 rating, 6.4 on Metacritic. A little Rotten Tomato score on Fast Color. Whoa, hey yo, and see what we get here. I'm gonna say it's gonna be 83 chat. Okay, wait, what's the runtime on this again? Are we looking at a 2-hour commitment for Fast Color? 102. Okay, chat, not too bad. I can strap in pause for that. So, whoa, what are we talking about? That's crazy. But let's just go back to talking about basketball for a second. But yeah, so it's gonna give us fastball, fast, cheap, out of control. American. Okay, obviously, chat. American Beauty, American Psycho, American History, and American Graffiti as a Mount Rushmore. Definitely higher profile movies for sure, but American, like, the most, I guess some people, rewatchable in a way. Just not necessarily the movies that I would be throwing on the most. But some Christian Bale in there as well too. Cheating a bit, but it fits. The Godfather, The Shawshank Redemption, The Dark Knight, and The Empire Strikes Back. Yeah, I think that one does not count at all. Star Wars, 4 Star Wars movies, and then a Star Trek movie doesn't count. Here we go. Oh, Night of the Living Dead, Boogie Nights, Before Night Falls, and then Saturday Night Fever. Okay, so can we get a fourth one in here where nights is the second word? Because Boogie Nights, it's the last word, but it is also the second word. So Before Nightfall 2000 is not something that I am too familiar with as well, too. 25th anniversary of Before Nightfall. A biological drama film. Ronaldo Arenas chat, based on a book. Hey, yo. Shout out. But I don't know if this one is streaming as well, too. Adding this one to the watch list, chat. Ayo. A little more documentary style. I don't know, the entertainment value compared to some of the other ones. But Saturday Night Fever as well, too, on here as well. So, see, chat, it missed Gone. Let's just see. What about Gone? We'll just put that in here. And it's going to be those 4 movies, but is that going to prompt it to get more? Because, again, that seemed easy. ChatGPT doing very little research there. The Mount Rushmore of Gone movies. Yeah, Gone with the Wind, Gone Girl, Gone Baby Gone, and Gone in 60 Seconds. Okay, either one, chat. Oh, 1974, 2000. We're not doing the 74 one. It's fair service here by watching that one, I guess. Should we put that one on the second TV instead of the R&B music video channel? But we'll just focus on the first one for now. And it's got honorable mentions as well, too. So an explanation. Yeah, chat, we need more. I don't want to, call it out, because if it does get sentient, it's going to be like it's going to attack us. Remember that time it called us out for our lack of Mount Rushmore research. But I feel like you were slacking a little bit there, chat. Maybe we should just challenge it. You guys, we don't need to waste our time typing, maybe. Let's see. Let's just say more list, chat, and see what we get for this. The Last is not bad. Last of the Mohicans, Last Samurai, Last Picture Show, and Last Dance, the documentary. Oh, chat, Black Panther, Black Swan, Black Klansman, and Black Hawk Down. Ooh, that might be it. That might be it, chat, honestly. Dead, Dawn of the Dead, Shaun of Dead, Dead Poets Society, and Army of the Dead. This 2021 Zack Snyder film. I feel like there's a fourth one in there as well, too, that could be. So it's just repeating list. We got American again. Man, oh, chat, this is a stretch. The Man Who Fell from Earth, The Man Who Knew Too Much, The Man from U.N.C.L.E., and The Manchurian Candidate as the fourth one. I think what was the other one we were looking at? If Rushmore would count in the Mount Rushmore rankings, then The Manchurian Candidate might count as well, too. That's a stretch, but that's funny. And Night is back again. Oh, chat, so it's going to take a lot of research for us to draw out all these lists, but the Black title is not bad as well, too. That's a pretty stacked category. Black Panther, Black Swan, Black Klansman, and Black Hawk Down. Hey, yo, chat. That really does. Because, again, the Gone does give you a nice sort of variety. Like, I guess Gone with the Wind's an interesting one where you'd really have to be into old movies. But for us, like, I can watch a movie from any era. So, you know, respectfully, Chad. I'm just saying the idea of watching the technological aspect of the older films. Sometimes people can't get. Obviously, you know, there are other aspects of older films. They're like, probably, you know, we'll just try to find the best versions of what aged the best, obviously, for watching movies in the rotation. But I'm just saying the idea of watching a film from 1939 for the technological aspect of it, that's okay for me. So the old graininess and the lack of special effects, like all that, like, I'm okay with 1939 technology in a film. And then you get a psychological thriller with Ben Affleck, obviously. Gone Girl, Gone Baby Gone is in that crime thriller aspect as well too. And then Gone in 60 Seconds is just more of that fun, lighthearted, easy rewatch type movie, which is still that same movie of like a Black Panther type movie for this Mount Rushmore. Black Swan gives you that thriller movie. Black Klansman kind of straddles both, like the fun action movie, but again has a little bit more, you know, some a little bit more politically charged at moments than a movie like Gone in 60 Seconds. But still, there's a rewatchability to that, and Spike Lee is giving you a little bit more brighter tone. Is that the right way to say it? I think you guys get what I'm trying to say. But and then Black Hawk Down as well too. Again, just that like it says, gritty, relentless war film as that intense action movie where, you know, speaking of like that Sunday rewatch chat, like Black Panther, you know, that perfect TNT rewatch movie. Klansman and Swan, if you want to go a little bit more with the higher, and I guess, you know, Black Panther's an Oscar movie as well too. That's a tough one, chat. I would say that we would probably, I mean, Black Panther alone is just, we're gonna, of the 8 movies between the Gone and the, you know, the Black category, chat, but the Black Panther would be the best movie, most rewatched movie for us from that 2 different Mount Rushmores. And I think Spike Lee, getting a Spike Lee movie in there as well too, is definitely a win for this Mount Rushmore. So do we get one more? We need totally new. We need totally new, or here, let's go more totally new lists and see if we can get one more Mount Rushmore to compete real quick before, because I guess we're going to hit an ad break here as Nicolas Cage accepts the challenge to help his brother. Big chat, here we go. ChatGPT cooking. And I guess now we're relying on ChatGPT. We're not thinking about it anymore ourselves. But literally just Big with Tom Hanks. Hey, yo, pause. But The Big Lebowski, The Big Short, and The Big Sleep, 1946. Bogart and Bacall. Humphrey Bogart, The Big Sleep. Hey, yo, chat. Well, here, let me look this one up here first. And then I can add it into the watch list later. But The Big Sleep. Is this like a noir film, chat? They were cranking out the noirs back in the day. Let's see here. Initially produced in the late 40s, during the delay. Film stars Humphrey Bogart as a private detective, and Lauren Bacall as Vivian Rutledge. A story that begins with blackmail and leads to multiple murders. Oh, chat. What is this, like 1946 Basic Instinct? What was this called again? The Big Sleep? Ooh, chat. We might be doing a quick pivot on the old Sunday afternoon watch. Let's see here. The Big Sleep. This is a tough category as well. This might be, well, I don't know if this is a better overall category. I guess it depends on the overall ratings of The Big Sleep. But The Big Short, The Big Lebowski, and was Big? Is that an awards movie? But those are both Oscar movies as well. So you had 2 Oscar movies, and I guess Black Swan is an Oscar movie too. And Black Hawk Down? Or no, I'm thinking Zero Dark 30 was nominated for the Oscar. I don't know if Black Hawk Down got nominations like that, but I could see The Big Sleep in 46 getting some love at the Oscars back in the day. Okay, 2 award wins. I don't know if they had the same infrastructure for all of the different award shows, so if it's getting some awards win, it's like it's at something. National Film Registry 1997. Oh, so it got some like belated Hall of Fame recognition. 2017 OFTA Film Hall of Fame. And then 1997, like I said, National Film Registry winner. National Film Preservation Board. So I don't know if it was just one film in 97 that won, or it's like a bunch of films that got nominated for something back then. But so I guess not in the moment, like a super awarded film, but maybe still watchable. What do we got in the ratings here? Okay, yeah, 87. Oh, not streaming anywhere, chat. Okay, so Daily Motion. See if it clutches up first once again. But for now, we'll just add it to the watch list. Hard Boiled Detective. Hey, yo, chat. We might have to go cook up another Tubi original just based on that. Just another I feel like the Hard Boiled Detective movie. Do we have enough of those around these days? So this is a stacked category as well. Bad Boys, Bad Santa, Bad Education, and Bad Times at El Royale. That's fun, but we've gotten some stacked lists already, so I don't know if that one's going to get left out. Beautiful. Life is Beautiful, A Beautiful Mind, A Beautiful Contrary, and Beautiful Boy. I don't feel like it's in the right order. Hey, yo, pause. Hard. Whoa. Die Hard, Hard Boiled, Hard 8, Harder They Fall. Hey, yo, chat, we got to just skip that one. Doctor Strange, Stranger Than Fiction, Strange Days, Stranger by Lake. Close, chat. Close, but Doctor Strange kind of holding that list back in terms of the names, not in terms of the title, or in terms of the movie quality. Doctor Strange, very rewatchable, chat. Hey, yo. Next year, the 10th year anniversary, Doctor Strange, make no mistake. Cue that one up. We'll be on the couch right here for it. But Under Skin, Underworld, Under Sheets, Under the Silver Lake is a fun one. Wild Things, The Wild Bunch, and Where the Wild Things Are. Oh, chat. So close. What you want me to... Weird, Never, Young, Sweet, and Devil? Does anything jump off the top of the head that would be like the most amazing film of all time? Young, Sweet, Devil. Hey, whoa, chat. I don't know why we just went for those three, but Only or Never as well too as options for those. Why did ChatGPT? What's it doing here? Giving us those options, but that's crazy, chat. Don't isolate that. That sound mine is nuts. Hey, yo, chat. But what are we saying? So what gets in the mix here? What was the other one? Big. Hey, yo, pause. So, well, speaking of weird combinations, chat, what are our Mount Rushmore options? Big, Black, and Gone? Whoa. Hey, yo, chat. But that's a pretty wild string of titles as well, too. But stack. So we need one more to get the Mount Rushmore of Mount Rushmore titles, but at least we got a top three anyways for Mount Rushmore's best movies that start with the same title. Because we can look past obviously as a title part in there for sure. So wait, let's go to the Tom Hanks joint here real quick and see. Maybe Hanks got some nominations. Yeah, nominated for 2 Oscars. So 11 wins and 14 nominations total. Again, in the 90s, there's probably some festivals and stuff that are in the mix. But yeah, best lead actor, Tom Hanks in 89. And then best screenwriting as well, too. Best screenplay written directly for screen. Gary Ross, Annie Spielberg. Shout out. And then some, best DVD special edition released. Best fantasy film. A couple of, the Saturn Awards, chat. Cleaned up at the Saturn Awards. I don't know if that's like I guess I don't know what that is. But American Comedy. Yeah, just a bunch of other stuff in here. Casting Society Awards. Hey, yo. So that is, in terms of the awards, that is pretty strong. Wait, let's go Black Swan here, because we know Black Klansman got nominated for Oscar. So I'm pretty sure, again, Portman or Kunis, what's her name, chat? Whoever else was in this movie. Maybe there was some acting nominations. Won 1 Oscar, 279 nominations. This is gonna be the most nominated movie of all of them, chat. Hey, yo, I wasn't necessarily doubting the quality. It's just, do we line up all the nominations? Yeah, best motion picture nominee, 2011. Best Oscar winner, Natalie Portman as well too. So Tom Hanks and Natalie Portman. Black Swan versus Big, chat. In terms of the list, did John David Washington get a nomination for Black Klansman? All of a sudden, Gone has slipped out of the list. I don't know. Gone in 60 Seconds. As much as we love it, it is maybe not quality-wise holding up to some of these movies in here as well. So I know that this got 215 total nominations. So yeah, this one's up. I guess Gone Gone Girl got some Oscar nominations as well too. Best Motion Picture nominee, won Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Achievement in Directing, Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role. Oh, Adam Driver getting nominated out of this movie, of course. Chet, the one white guy in this movie gets nominated, but Terrence, Best Achievement for Music as well too, and the screenplay, the directing, the editing, I guess would be the other one as well. So what did it win? Oh, won the screenplay award. So it got the acting award winner for Black Swan, but the screenplay award for Black Klansman. I think, did Black Panther get like a costume design? And then it did get nominated for Best Picture, and then also got nominated as well for, I want to say maybe special effects. So, I mean, that move, I guess this got edited for editing. 2 acting nominations, a directing nomination, a writing nomination. But maybe Black Panther got the most technical nominations of all the movies, which would make sense, a newer movie, but also, MCU movie, a sci-fi movie of that scale is going to be. So 298. Hey, yo, chat. There we go. Black Panther is probably going to be the most nominated movie of all of these movies. That would be the most fitting thing. Best Achievement in Music. Best Achievement in Music written for... the score and the song. Both, chat, of course. Kendrick a nominee. Who did Kendrick lose to? We have to go back. Best Achievement in Music for Motion Pictures. Okay, chat. Let's see if we can get this. Best Achieve. Oh, well, we gotta spell, chat. Achieve. Well, process of eliminate. Oh, okay, chat. Hey, yo. Let's see if we can just... because I guess original song, copy and paste. Hey, yo, let's see. Okay, here we go, chat. Academy Awards. Oh! We don't even get the option for it. Here, I guess we'll just Google search it and see what we get. Do we have a list? Is there history for this? Yeah, Billie Eilish, the Academy Award Best Original Song. Here we go, chat. What did All of the Stars lose to in 2019? Obviously, the replay value of that is crazy. Or wait, 2020? When did this get nominated? Oh, 2018. Here we go. Oh, A Star is Born, Shallow. Oh, chat. Again, these days, I mean, Bradley Cooper didn't get into a rap beef with any of the other actors. So it's not like, the replay Bradley Cooper's going on tour. There we go. After the beef now, like playing his old songs again. Like, Shallow's not having that second life. But Shallow might be more streamed than All the Stars, chat. It's pretty close. I would say, again, the All the Stars bump could be more, but here, let's go. Where is Kendrick on his list? Chat, dumb ads. But the way Shallows was being played in the moment, that song was everywhere, chat. So All the Stars right now, just recently, I guess, crossed 2.4 billion streams. So it crossed 2 billion after the beef. So again, this song did release in 2018 or whatever. So it was sitting, was still amongst their most streamed songs in their categories in the upper 1 bills, but got that second boost as well too with people going back and just it's I think split between both the artist pages as well too. So as SZA, it's like as SZA gets popular and people are playing all her songs, people will be playing that song, and as Kendrick gets popular, people will still be playing that song. So it wins both ways as well too, as both of them literally continue to dominate as well. But who's the other one we're looking for, chat? Oh, Lady Gaga. Wait, who else was on that song? Oh, I guess Bradley Cooper's Spotify page, probably a little lower than Lady Gaga's, but yeah, Shallow right now is at almost 2.8. So on the dailies, 900,000. Yeah, people Die with a Smile. I guess some of the stuff off the newer album probably, which, ayo, chat. We should go through. We haven't gone through the new Gaga yet. Ayo, pause. But the new album obviously is doing okay in the numbers without us. So wait, let's go back here. All the Stars, I imagine, on the dailies a little bit higher. Yeah, All the Stars on the daily, 2.2 million daily. So, over twice as many people still going back to that song regularly. So again, you can't calculate that in the moment. And are you awarding a song for the movie part of it or the radio part of it? It depends. And again, I guess the radio part of it, Shallow still gets it over there anyways. But Yeah, Mary Poppins, Ballad of Buster Scruggs. When a cowboy trades his spurs for wings, that probably unfortunately did not stand a chance, chat. You've got Lady Gaga, Mark Ronson, and Kendrick Lamar, Soundwave, and SZA versus the Ballad of Buster Scruggs. It's like, oh, wait a second. We didn't realize this was going to be the year that we were going to get nominated. You go the next year, it's like, oh, all normal movies, chat. You got normal people here. No, I guess Mary J. Blige, for some reason, not getting the win this year. But you're like, okay, Disney, Pixar, Call Me By Your Name, Disney as well again, Greatest Showman, Marshall. Is this Thurgood Marshall? Yeah, shout out, Chadwick Boseman. So you got a little Common song in here, I guess. But because Common, Common will pop up. Common also, I think, on the Selma soundtrack. I know a lot of people on the Selma soundtrack. But and I guess you get Elton John the next year as well, too. Her, then Billie Eilish. So, it turns. And then Billie Eilish again, chat. Oh, wait, and then... I guess Amelia Perez is the most recent winner for this. Elton John from the movie Never Too Late. Also 2 Amelia Perez songs. Sing Sing. And then the 666 as well, getting nominated last year. So, shout out. But, chat, are we just letting the movies slip by? Hey, yo, pause. We got Angelina Jolie back in the mix. Should we just make this Angelina Jolie mix? Hey, yo, chat, just taking a drink straight out of the gas canister is what it is. I mean, I guess I could say it wouldn't be that crazy. I was going to say, like, I've never actually witnessed a car shop situation where they've, like, washed out a gas canister or... Because, let's be honest, did they go and buy a fresh gas canister and be like, okay, this one is going to be used for the drinks? Like, she definitely didn't do that. She was like, there was one day, it's like, okay, I have nothing to put this drink in. What am I going to use? Let me just wash out this gas canister real quick and just fill it up in there. If you ever see somebody do that, I guess, they already have a history. If you just see Angelina Jolie in general, you're already probably going to be shook enough. But she starts doing stuff like that. You're like, okay. I guess, do we have to go top 5 ladies in car scenes, chat? Hey, yo, what kind of list is this? I mean, what are the top 2 that you get? Okay, so Angelina Jolie taking a swig out of the gas can and Gone in 60 Seconds, and then Megan Fox making repairs and Transformers. Okay, so there's your top 2, chat. What's number 3? We got to pay respect to go back to ChatGPT. Cook up something from the 50s. Like, what's an early car chase movie where maybe, Elizabeth Taylor or something was... I guess, are we getting the eras right there, chat? I don't know. But, what's some older movie with some star where... I guess, who was in the old Stars Born, chat? Barbara Streisand? Is there an old Barbara Streisand car chase movie that we're not thinking about that... Maybe but I guess would Barbara Streisand make the list? Hey, yo, shout out. But, Gaga definitely would. If Gaga does a car scene movie at some point. What's the name of the chick in Baby Driver, chat? Is there a scene with her in that car? So I guess, is she making out with John Hamm a lot in that movie? She's making out with somebody in that movie a lot. We just kind of, whoever the guy is, I guess, just go, okay, we'll just not pay attention to him. But, Memphis Reigns, I guess there's just a lot here, chat. Memphis Reigns, top 5 movie name as well too. Anytime a city is a character name, I think that works. What were we just watching where there's a character name? Oh, Chad, Demolition Man. We were just watching Demolition Man with Wesley Snipes. He's playing is it Simon Phoenix or Phoenix Simon? I think it's Simon Phoenix is his character name. But either way, character name is Phoenix. So ChatGPT, chat, we're back. We need characters with, I guess we're not just going to go best because it's going to narrow down the list. Let's just go a list, top 100, really make it do the research. List of movie characters with a location, just a location in general. Because I guess it wouldn't have to be, it would be more commonly be a city. I guess you would get like some Georgias or Montanas, though, worked in. But either way, both of those work as well. List of movie characters with a location as a name. Let's see how comprehensive this list goes, chat. I guess Gone in 60 Seconds, if it gives us Memphis Reigns, then there's no way that it wouldn't do that. Ron Woodroof is in Dallas. Wait a second. So what does it think we search here? List of movie characters with location as a name. Oh, Indiana Jones. Okay, yeah, chat, for sure. Definitely. Memphis Reigns. Detroit from Chirac. Arizona Robbins from Grey's Anatomy. Arizona Robbins is a great name, but Grey's Anatomy, I guess I haven't watched the Arizona Robbins episodes. Paris, Texas. Okay, for sure. Cairo from Cairo Time, 2009. London, 2005. London. Jessica Biel plays a woman named London in that movie. Okay, very straightforward chat. Jericho Kane, End of Days, 1999. Arnold chat. Jericho Kane. That is up there. Obviously, Jericho maybe a little bit more famous back in the day, but that's a great name as well too. Nevada Smith. Whoa. Nevada Smith. Is there a Vegas? There is somebody named Vegas. Oh, chat, who is it? Does Nicolas Cage? I guess Nicolas Cage plays a movie where he's in Las Vegas, but does he play a character named Vegas? Or was that us, chat? I think one of the characters for our Tubi originals that we cooked up, I think their name was Doris Vega. But did we have a Vegas? Well, maybe we will have a Vegas, chat. But Nevada Smith, Reno would be a good name as well too. But Reno might be actually too real of a name. Tallahassee from Zombieland. That's a good one. Because Tallahassee. Has there ever been another person named Tallahassee in anything? But Tallahassee just has a name in general, and the fact that his name is just Tallahassee as well too. Nevada Smith. He's not like Tallahassee Smith, but still, just a great nickname for him. Columbus, also in Zombieland. Alabama Whitman from True Romance. I guess Alabama feels more like a. That does feel more like a name. I don't know if that's as common of a name if we did the stats, but I guess Shane Gillis obviously hit Nick Saban with the Alabama Jones joke on College Game Day at one point, so I guess we're thinking about that. But you got a couple of characters there anyways named Alabama, so maybe a little bit more common. Missouri from Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Mantis reference. Oh, not a character name, but I was gonna say I don't remember Missouri, but yeah, because there's not one that exists. Georgia Sykes from Smoking Aces, played by Alicia Keys. Chat, Smoking Aces, back on the watch list, 2006. Alicia Keys. Wyoming Bill Kelsey from 1941, the 1979 movie. John Belushi. Texas Ranger Earl McGraw from Kill Bill. So Earl McGraw, I guess there's probably a place named Earl, but it's probably thinking Texas Ranger for the name, but that doesn't technically count. Cleveland Heap. Lady in Water, 2006. Paul Giamatti, janitor with a city for a last name. Wait a second. The city's his first name. Lady in Water? I guess, we don't necessarily know every Paul Giamatti vehicle necessarily. But let's see here, chat. Wait, Lady in Water doesn't even exist as a movie. Oh, wait, Lady in the Water. Here we go. M. Night Shyamalan. Whoa. Bryce Dallas Howard? Oh, chat, a real person, obviously. Jurassic World, I guess, franchise. There for a second with Pratt. Would be a real name, obviously, with the location right there. Shout out. But Cleveland Heap. On one evening, Cleveland Heap, the superintendent of a Philadelphia apartment complex, discovers Story, Naiad-like being in his building's pool. Heap immediately rescues Story from an attack by Scrunt, a grass-covered wolf-like creature that hides by flattening his body against the turf. Hey, yo. It is also revealed that Heap became the superintendent of his building after his family was murdered. Hey, yo, chat. Is that what you do when somebody family mysteriously gets murdered? I guess you're the janitor, the superintendent of the building now? We don't. Cleveland Heap, we're a little suspicious of Cleveland Heap, so we'll just keep him over here as the janitor just in case. We don't have enough evidence to put him in jail, but he can be a janitor. Oh, chat, a Golden Raspberry nominee. Hey, yo, shout out to Paul Giamatti. So Cleveland Heap, I think we need to bring Cleveland Heap back in a new movie, just as a name. I don't know if he's a janitor character again, but that might be the new number one, chat. Cleveland Heap is hilarious, and obviously, Cleveland sports have been in a heap of trouble for a long time. But would you a spreadsheet? Hey, yo, chat. So that's not a bad list there. There was another one that I was thinking. Oh, Indiana Jones. Yeah, so Indiana Jones, Memphis Reigns, maybe Detroit as well too, just because that's, pretty straight on for the movie. But Tallahassee, I kind of just want to put in the list just because that's a great name. So we've got, definitely Cleveland Heap, Memphis Reigns, and Indiana Jones as the top three city names in in a movie. So chat, I guess our next Tubi original, do we need to write that down as a note? Have somebody with a city name in the movie. And I guess those are all three American cities as well too. If I'm remembering all the names correctly. Wait, who do we have, chat? Now I'm doubting myself. Memphis, yeah, a state. Indiana, technically a state, yeah, not a city. So, is there an there could be a character called Indianapolis. Indianapolis Jones, chat? What kind of movie is Indianapolis Jones starring in? Oh, I guess are there any characters named Vegas? Because otherwise, chat, make no mistake, there will be. We're casting Stephen A. Smith as a character. Oh, Johnny Vegas? Various? Often use the tough guy alias. Vegas is an alias. Jack Says 2008 Hitman style character. I'm not really familiar with that. Or Vegas Team in Tom Clancy's Ghost. Mr. Vegas sometimes pops up as a nightclub owner. Okay, Vegas, a nickname. There's a couple guys who are nicknamed Vegas. Leaving Las Vegas, the Nicolas Cage movie. Viva Las Vegas. Elvis character's name is Lucky Jackson. Hey, yo. Vegas Vacation, starring Chevy Chase. So, yeah, nobody named Vegas. Okay, so we are just thinking of, shout out to Doris Vega, who I can't remember. Was she in Overtime Heat or in a different movie? Maybe she was in a different movie. But obviously, shout out to Delroy Lindo. Big Delroy Lindo year after his performance in Sinners. Really one of the biggest winners of Sinners in that whole movie. I guess that's a real, the rewind, when we fast forward, I guess maybe not even 10 years, chat, like a couple of months for when that hits streaming, then when will the rewatchables have the Sinners episode? Because there's no way that's not going to be in the pipeline at some point. But that'll be an interesting, obviously, just in general for the conversation, an interesting sort of Apex Mountain movie for then, obviously, that pod sort of, what do you call it, trademarking that term for the conversation for movie actors. But an interesting Apex movie mountain for all of those people involved. Because I guess here, let's go back to the Delroy Lindo career here real quick, and pull up the roles, because he's a side character in that role in that movie, but he does, I guess, he gets vampirized. Is that a right way to say it, chat? So, or no, wait, I guess spoiler alert for Sinners if you haven't seen it yet, chat, because the digital is out now, and it will be again on streaming at some point. So we do know some people that haven't seen it yet. It's like, when it hits streaming, definitely give it a look. So, the Spike Lee pairing with Malcolm X and then Crooklyn in the 90s. And I guess, chat, from 79 to 90 just wasn't in movies as well. So I don't know, was he just doing TV from that time? But what was going on with Lindo? For a decade, his career, he focused on theater acting in the 80s. Hey, yo, chat. Although he said he has focused more on theater acting than film, although he has said this was not a conscious decision. In 82, he debuted on Broadway in Mr. Harold and the Boys, directed by the play's South African author Athol Furgard. By 88, Lindo earned a Tony nomination for his portrayal of Harold Loomis. Dr. Loomis, chat? Hey, is this a Michael Myers? Oh, no, Joe Turner's Come and Gone. Hey, yo. Second installment of a decade-by-decade chronicle of the African-American experience. The Pittsburgh Cycle, also known as the Century Cycle. The play was first staged in 1984. Hey, yo, chat, so maybe a little bit more important of a play than a Michael Myers Broadway run. But could Delroy Lindo play Dr. Loomis in a Michael Myers version of the play? That would be a fun casting. Dr. Loomis as Delroy Lindo, chat. I think, original Dr. Loomis, we haven't necessarily kept up with the I don't know, we're going to do Dr. Loomis corner here, chat. Let's see. His first name's Samuel? I guess if you had asked me what Dr. Loomis's first name was, I would not have guessed it, chat. I would not have necessarily said Samuel Loomis. But, yeah, Donald Pleasance, a little bit more of a timid character in the first one. Pleasance is not like the type of guy, like if he was going after Michael Myers, like, he's going to tackle him and handcuff him and, like, two shots to the 2 shots to the head is crazy. But you get what I'm saying. Like, he's not necessarily going to John Wick, Denzel Washington take out Michael Myers, but he is sort of the guy chasing him down. But Malcolm McDowell takes the role in 2007. So McDowell can have a little bit more toughness to him, I think. But McDowell's still a little, in the Doctor vibe. So those are the two guys to play Dr. Loomis. Oh, and Tom Jones. Oh, the body double in 20. Tom Jones Jr., 2021 body double. He also appeared in a flashback in Halloween. Oh, so this is the Halloween Kills. He's in a flashback. Hey, he's just driven. Oh, was he just getting murdered by Michael Myers in a flashback in 2021, chat? Hey, I think we might queue up the 2018 one this year at Halloween time because, word on the street is that one's pretty good. We'll have to reconfirm with the champ on the correct, which Halloween movies are the ones worth spending the time on. Because, we'll get into the rest of the franchise a little bit, chat, on the good quality ones. And then maybe, once we see the quality ones, then, we'll be more interested to go back and see the ones that are more like the cult classics. But I think that 2018 one, if I'm not mistaken, was also a little soft reboot as well, too. So I think, the sequel to the 20... Yeah, so Halloween Kills is the sequel. So it would make sense to just go to the first one and then watch Halloween in 2018 as well, too. From a timeline standpoint, we wouldn't necessarily be missing anything. And I think... again, that 2018 one does seem like the Halloween fans like that adaptation of it. But a different Dr. Loomis for our guy Delroy Lindo in the stage there. But in the 80s, I guess, focused on stage, got the Tony nomination. So I know it doesn't say he necessarily got a Tony win, at least this point here. I don't know if we keep reading. Lindo, he returned to film with the science fiction film. Salute to the Juggler, 1990, chat. Hey, yo. Joan Chen Ruger Tower, Vincent D'Onofrio, shout out in the movie as well too. So D'Onofrio and Delroy Lindo, stack supporting cast in this movie, which has become a cult classic for Salute of the Juggler. Although he had turned down Spike Lee for a role in Do the Right Thing, so that's why he was back chatting all the other Spike movies. He's like, okay, well, any other time Spike Lee makes a movie, I'm just in it at that point because, unfortunately, he may have missed out on the best. I mean. Again, you start going the rewatch, like a movie, Do the Right Thing versus Inside Man, though, it's close, chat. It's close. Obviously, Do the Right Thing is pretty rewatchable as well, too. But even though it's a different type of movie. But, which brought Lindo to notice. His other roles with Lee obviously includes West Indy Art of the Psychotic Gangster, Malcolm X, and then his role as a drug dealer in Clockers as well, too, chat. So, that would be his emergence back into film in the 90s. Shout out to Spike Lee for getting Delroy Lindo back on the stage. The Devil's Advocate. In 97, I guess an uncredited role in that. And then, Gone in 60 Seconds in 2000 as well, too. So, Delroy Lindo, broken away from the theater, broken away from the Spike Lee universe in full, chat. So this is like Delroy Lindo. He has his own wings now as an actor. This is like him on his own in a role just crushing. But, Heist. This has been on Tubi on the watch list. Gene Hackman as well. So, Delroy Lindo and Gene Hackman, I guess it's next up. But, and he's a voice in Up as well, too. Beta? Which character is Beta in Up, chat? I don't remember all of the dog characters by name necessarily. Beta, Up, film. Let's see what we get here, chat. Beta and Gamma? Oh, those are the two little, again, I don't dog types, but those are the... is Beta... Well, I guess, are they listed by names here? I'm guessing Beta is the little dog. Or was Beta the tough dog, and that was kind of the joke, and then Gamma was the fat dog. But shout out. Both, obviously, iconic pets from the movie. But voiced the character in that, so iconic. And then in the Point Break remake, Delroy Lindo! What are we doing? I haven't seen the Point Break remake yet, and maybe if Delroy Lindo's in it, I'll watch it. But... other than that, hey, yo. The Defy Bloods, chat. So I forgot about Defy Bloods. We need to go back and rewatch that one. I rewatched that once, and it was like a, in the background, kind of half, you throw it on. It's like, okay, well, we watched it to say we watched it, but I didn't actually watch it. So that's one. And this, The Harder They Fall, is definitely going to get added to the watch list as well, too. I can't believe I haven't watched this yet because, I mean, the cast for this is, Majors, Idris Elba, ZZ Bates, chat, Regina King, Delroy Lindo, Lakeith Stanfield. I mean, hey, yo, chat. That is a crazy movie. This is one of these movies that, I was like looking up movies. I was like, okay, what's similar to this? Is there movies that are similar to this? And this was one that kept popping up. I'm like, yeah, StatCast. Like, how is this a movie that we have not seen yet? And then Back in Sinners. So he's been a little bit more picky with his roles, but in a good way, chat. Like his last, I guess, I don't know what LX248 is, but it doesn't have a page. So I don't know, some kind of passion project here for our guy Delroy Lindo. But his last 3 movies, Defy Bloods, Harder They Fall, and Sinners. And again, Harder They Fall, we're just talking about it as having looked at it from a cast standpoint at this point. But it does seem like it held up in the reviews and stuff as well too. Just looking at some of the scores. I don't know if we go, Rotten Tomato score here. Oh, excuse me, chat. On the IMDb, Metacritic and stuff, it was still pretty fun. Oh, the 67 Shelby GT 500, chat. You got to, of course, saving that one for last. The best for last. Hey, yo. And is that the same car that John Wick had? Okay, wait a second. What are we looking up here? The Harder They Fall, chat. 2021. I'm going to say, in 60s and 70s for sure, at least. Yeah, 6.7 IMDb, looking good. 88% perfect. 68 on Metacritic. Actually, selling a little bit short there compared to what I mean, they're not going to spoil it here on the review. I feel like they do a decent job of that. But the popcorn meter anyways. 93% on the popcorn meter. Oh, chat, I'm queuing this up tonight. I'm watching this. I don't know how many movies we said we watching tonight. So buckle up, chat. Ayo, gonna be a long night. But yeah, this is definitely gonna be in the watch list for sure. So wait a second. We don't want to actually spoil it. It says, there's just the little recap. Anyways, critics consensus. It isn't as bold and fearless as its characters, but the movie fills its well-worn template with style, energy, and fantastic cast. Chat, I honestly, that to me sounds if the movie, anytime the critics' reviews for the movie, or anytime the negative side of the reviews are the movie is formulaic, it's like, well, okay, I don't see a problem here with that. You know what I love, chat? A simple formula what I love for a movie? A formula that's just say, hey, let's just put Nicolas Cage in car chases and, Giovanni Ribisi all in a movie. They have one day to complete a mission. They're in cars and it's Nicolas Cage. Like, okay, I don't know. I don't care what kind of well-worn formula we're talking about here. Like, I'm in. It's perfect. I guess, different movie here. But audience says, great cast, great soundtrack, great looking movie. The Harder They Fall, a Western, even viewers who aren't fans of the genre have no choice but to love. And I think it's because as well, too, we'd watched Enemy of the State and was like, well, I guess we just have to watch every movie that Regina King is in as well, too. So I was like, oh, wait a second. Why haven't we seen this 2021 movie as well? And, again, it's just every person. It's like, well, I guess we're, Majors, when he ascends into the MCU, it's like, well, I guess we're watching Majors movies. Oh, 2021, why would we even watch them? Well, maybe, have to go back to look at the Majors timeline there. But, Idris Elba, like, oh, we need to go Idris Elba run. I guess this movie is in there. Lakeith Stanfield and, like I said, Delroy Lindo as well there now, too. So, I did see another movie, future movie there for, wait, where's that Wikipedia page for Delroy Lindo? Here we go. Yeah, what do we got? Godzilla vs. Kong Supernova. So it didn't say that he was a part of the Godzilla Kong franchise before this, chat. So we got a new character. I guess, a lot of characters probably don't make it out of that franchise, unfortunately. But, Godzilla vs. Kong Supernova, we get him now moving back into the franchise IP roles. Hey, yo, chat, Delroy Lindo is, the rise is happening. To be announced, filming. So I guess he's just been cast in it. Do we have I guess we'll look into it here, chat. Do we have a cast outside of Delroy Lindo? Okay, Caitlin Dever, did I say that right? Yeah, Last Man Standing. I guess maybe haven't seen as much of her movies, but definitely in that show. And Dan Stevens, Jack O'Connell, back again paired with Delroy Lindo. Matthew Modine, Elisa Debnan Carey, and then Sam Neill as well, too. So this is fun. And then, wait, who is directing this, chat? Grant Spatour. Not necessarily somebody that I'm too familiar with, but he's got a good foundational cast to work with here. That's for sure. Again, great supporting characters. It'll be fun to see Deaver. And Dan Stevens as well, too. I guess, do we know the history of why is every actor not necessarily in major films? But, you just got to wait your turn as well, too. Which roles are you picking? He was in that Beauty of the Beast movie as well. But that's just an interesting role because, like Brolin with Thanos was able to get away with it because Thanos is definitely Josh Brolin, but it's still, him in a mask a little bit. Like, Dan Stevens just being covered up that whole movie while it is a major movie. It's like it's not really Dan Stevens in the movie. You know, it's that's Emma Watson, right? Chat and Beauty and the Beast 2017. Wait a second, let me see here. I should definitely know that. I'm acting like I haven't seen this movie a bunch of times, chat. But yeah, that's you know, you got Emma Watson, obviously the Emma Watson vehicle, but you know, Dan Stevens is sharing the stuff, and I guess, you know, is it? Pause. But is it? I guess he's doing the acting. I guess how is he doing the acting in that movie? Is he actually the Beast, or is it a James Earl Jones Darth Vader situation where somebody's the voice, somebody's in the suit? It's different type of stuff. I don't know exactly the mechanics of that movie, but and a good TV actor as well too. I know that Legion show was a pretty highly rated show as well too, but just hasn't quite hit the film stride yet. So okay, in 2020, I guess we need to catch up on the Godzilla versus Kong movies as well too. I guess he is in that one. Abigail, I feel like hearing a little bit about this movie. I don't remember if this was a movie that was as well received, but I don't remember saying, oh, Abigail bombed. So it's just, I just don't know. And yeah, starred an Apostle as well. So, you know, been not necessarily titles here that I'm super familiar with from then to then. Yeah, really, Chad, just kind of a, you know, been working his way up the entire career. It is what it is. So, you know, him and Supernova, I guess, back could be interesting. I don't know if Deaver's in that one as well too, but that's a Modine, Jack O'Connell, and Delroy Lindo as a trio supporting cast is pretty fun. Wait, what's Hugh Jackman doing? Oh, Henry Jackman produced music. I was like, Hugh Jackman's doing what for this movie? But wait a second. So this is not Godzilla versus Kong. This is Delroy Lindo in Gone in 60 Seconds, chat. I would probably, because I guess, you know, shout out again Spike Lee. Like, you're definitely watching Spike Lee movies, but Malcolm X it's a commitment, chat. It's a 3-hour movie. You know, I guess it is one of those, like, if you need a movie for the afternoon, but are you going to throw on Malcolm X, you know? But it's such a stacked cast, and again, you know, well directed. It is what it is. But then you know, that as a movie and Crooklyn as a movie, probably better movies than Gone in 60 Seconds, but definitely, you know, you're watching Gone in 60 Seconds a little bit more than that. So Sinners now, again, probably is the peak of that critical acclaim with the rewatchability of it as well too. And we'll have to go back and rewatch. Yeah, probably haven't watched Crooklyn way longer than we've rewatched Malcolm X, chat. Hey, yo. But, you know, for the Delroy Lindo parts, we'll have to go back and remember what he is in those movies as well, too. But again, I think he might be a little bit more important in Sinners, but I could be wrong. But this is a similar sort of screen time vibe from Sinners, the Gone in 60 Seconds type role for him here as the cop. So, and it's fun for him, and that is the you know, the couple of differences, chat. You know, how many differences are there between this and Fast and Furious? You start going through the list, you're like, not as many as you would think. Again, well-worn templates, totally fine for us, chat. Hey, yo, whoa. Well-worn is definitely not something that we've ever been against. But at least, you know, for Fast and Furious, you've got Paul Walker's character trying to track down, of course, the team from the inside. So this one is Paul Walker's character is sort of split up into Nick Cage and Delroy. Hey, yo, chat. Oh, but was that on Paul Walker? Was that his scouting report, chat? Like his draft scouting report? Shades of, well, you know, shades of. Hey, yo, pause. But, you know, for the game comparison, like, I guess in reference to, again, what the Ringer did for their draft report, they're getting us in trouble here, chat. But, you know, where it's like comparison of, is this guy Joe Johnson mixed with Gilbert Arenas? It's like Paul Walker, Delroy Lindo, and Nicolas Cage. But you got Delroy Lindo is actually the cop chase, where Memphis Reigns is, of course, the guy that's sort of drawn back into the team. I guess, again, Paul Walker not necessarily drawn back into the team, but drawn into the team and is at the same time the cop pursuing him in a way. Well, you know, the force is pursuing him, but still, it's Paul Walker. And this one, of course, Delroy Lindo stays the cop as well. Duvall, Chad, just Duvall hanging out in this movie. Shout out. I mean, really, is it a better cast than the Fast and Furious movies from an acting, from a again, what are they doing as actors in Gone in 60 Seconds? Like, they're definitely playing to the tone of the movie. But again, it works as well, too, as a fun movie. You have fun because it's clear that the actors, like, there's a funness to this movie as well too. I don't know if we go to the research of this movie and say like everybody hated working on it, but you can't imagine that this was like a crazy project to work on as well too. It's a lot of stunts and very simple story. Like I can't imagine there was a ton of like actual like work on this film. And crazy success as well too. 237 million on the box office. I guess 103 on the budget though. Despite critical response, the film grossed 237. So I guess what did it say? Upon release, received generally negative reviews. Of course it did, chat. I don't know if we go and look at what the individual critics say here, but wait, let's go look at the cast. The Cars. Ooh, chat, we gotta look at that real quick. So yeah, Nicolas Cage, Angelina Jolie, Robert Duvall, Will Patton, Delroy Lindo, Giovanni Ribisi, Christopher Eccleston, Vinnie Jones, Scott Conn, James Duvall. Then you got James Duvall, and what is this, like a Robert Duvall's kid? Who is this guy? I just assumed Duvall is the same name. Okay, maybe. Wait a second. What does it say? Oh, okay. So probably different Duvalls, chat. Different Duvalls. Father was Irish and Native American ancestry. Mother, Saigon, chat. Am I saying that? Is that? Hey, yo, shout out to Norm Macdonald, dirty work. But that is crazy. So obviously, Fast and Furious, you've got Dominic Toretto, or wait a second. What's his name, chat? You got Vin Diesel. You got Vin Diesel, Paul Walker, Michelle Rodriguez, Jordana Brewster, Tyrese, I'm going to say Tyrese. What's his name, chat? It's just Tyrese. Is it Gibson's his last name? His name in the movie? Yeah, Gibson. Hey, yo. It's like, is that his name in the movie or is that his name in real life? He's Tyrese. But you got Tyrese and Ludacris, Chris Bridges, ayo. But just to prove that we know. So you got Ludacris and who else are we missing, chat? Oh, you've got Gal Gadot as well, too, who just pops up. I mean, Statham is, obviously, if the Gone in 60 Seconds franchise continues, who's added to the franchise? Maybe that's something we ask the Chat GPT. Who gets added to the Gone in 60 Seconds franchise? Do we go a Gone in 60 Seconds 2, chat? I guess, wait a second. Well, I was going to say, do we need to bust out our categories? But our categories are for the when we cook up the remakes. We've got a couple of musts so far, chat. I guess I don't know if I added this one in or not yet, but I was thinking about that because last time we cooked up, we were like, okay, we have to add John David Washington into the movie. So a new cook up is like, is John David Washington in this movie? Wait a minute, am I getting them mixed up? No, John David Washington is in the recast. So yeah, we got to recast John David Washington in this movie. Or I guess put him into Gone in 60 Seconds 2. But also we can just cast him in all of our Tubi originals as well too. It doesn't matter. I guess if John David Washington wants to stoop to the level of our Tubi originals, then we'll take him, chat. But again, the actor standpoint, like Fast and Furious, again, as a franchise, does feel like, here, I guess we'll dueling tabs, chat. But a lot of those actors, of course, are made because of the Fast and Furious franchise. And Vin Diesel has had a good career as well, too. But again, you think it's like the movies titled Fast. What are the best Vin Diesel movies? Well, it's his top 10 movies are all the Fast and Furious franchise movies. It just is what it is. I know he's got like the Triple X movies and then the Pacifier in there as well too. Like here, we'll go Fast. I feel like Fast 5 it's not going to have Statham and stuff yet, but that's going to have a pretty stacked version of the cast. Wait, Vin Diesel, Mark Sinclair, shout out. But, oh yeah, Saving Private Ryan, of course, chat. How can we forget about that? Boiler Room, Iron Giant, yeah, Fast and Furious, Pitch Black, Triple X, Chronicles of Riddick as well too. Babylon AD has been, I think, being pushed by us on Tubi right now. It's really recommending that one for us. Or one of these services is really saying that we should watch Babylon AD. But, oh yeah, and he's Groot as well, too. A voice role, but he is very iconic in that voice role. One of the more iconic voice roles, even though he's not doing that much. But, yeah, but like we're saying, he has basically made a name for himself based on the Fast and Furious franchise. Obviously, again, this movie, not a franchise. All of these actors have made names for themselves, not based on this movie. And again, if we were going, stealing bits again from the rewatchable, if we were going Apex Mountain, but to help make this point as well too, like, this is not necessarily the peak of the pack, obviously, for anybody's career. Maybe, do we have to go look at Giovanni Ribisi's career? He'd be the one, like, do I just know all of the movies that he's in necessarily. Like, Angelina Jolie, Chad, there's another movie anniversary-wise that we might be watching. This might just be turned into Angelina Jolie week on the REMINGTOM pod, and we just rewatch a couple of movies. But, Robert Duvall, Oscar winner as well, too. So, Giovanni Ribisi, also Saving Private Ryan, Public Enemies 2009, A Million Ways to Die in the West. So, yeah, rewatchability, I guess Saving Private Ryan would be the best movie that he's been in. I guess, people that love that, and, war movies, is people that love rewatching war movies, like, they're going to rewatch that one. But just not necessarily what I'm rewatching. Oh, yeah, he's in Lost in Translation as well, too. So that is, chat, that's up there. That's probably is that his Apex Mountain character? Again, that's probably the Ted 2? So it's between Ted 2. Oh, Avatar: The Way of Water. I guess he's in that. We have spoiler. We haven't seen that one. Oh, and he's in the Kevin Costner. Is this the Kevin Costner Western, chat? Horizon, American Saga. Hey, yo, we were talking to one of our movie friends at work, and they're a big Kevin Costner fan. Hey, yo, chat, are we, kind of, can you guess sort of what demographic this person falls in if they're, big fan of Kevin Costner? But there's like, even they were like, I tried watching American Saga, was not it. Didn't even check out chapter 2, but I guess that's probably not. And chapter 3, so maybe chapter 3 will be Ribisi's Apex Mountain if he's able to manage that. But this would probably again be the most watched movie for him, for us. I guess besides either this or Lost in Translation would be the top two. But Lost in Translation is one of these movies. I was talking to the movie friend about this as well too. The concept of like a fine wine movie where, and I don't think this is an original take, but the idea of like a movie that you can't watch too often. Like I don't want to wear the movie out. Obviously I like the movie so much that I just save the amount of times that I watch. Like there's the movies, obviously it would be like, okay, my list of favorite movies of all time. But then if we actually, again, went to the Spotify Wrapped, the To Be Wrapped for the year, what are the movies that you're actually watching the most? And, for, like, The Dark Knight is a perfect example of a movie. Like, I'm not watching The Dark Knight all the time because it's like, oh, we got to save that movie. We're watching that movie. The Town is that, I don't want to, like, what all the fine wine movies are. But what did we just say? Lost in Translation. Like, we've definitely watched Gone in 60 Seconds more times than Lost in Translation, but Lost in Translation is admittedly a movie that if we had to go to a desert island situation, like I'm taking the Lost in Translation DVD. I'll wear, I guess I'm just, pause. I'll wear it out on the desert island at that point. Hey, yo, whoa. What do we do on the desert island chat? Instead of the Gone in 60, hey, yo, I guess we don't need to go to this sidebar. But I would cave and take the Lost in Translation DVD at that point and just say, hey, well, we're just drinking, we're drinking fine wine on this island. It is what it is. But Gone in 60 Seconds, if we have access to both, then we'll just rewatch Gone in 60 Seconds and wear that movie out before we do, I guess, Lost in Translation. But again, outside of that, more a fun movie for everybody involved than it is the greatness of all of the characters intersecting. And that would be more what Lindo is, I guess, in Sinners, where, not every movie is that. Not every movie is everybody's in at high points. Like that is obviously the sign of like a truly special movie, and I think that's what Sinners is going to trend out to be, is that type of movie where it's like, oh man, this was, again, decade wise, whatever, just a really special project. But again, what were you saying? I don't know who we were talking about for this. Oh yeah, the cast compared to the Fast and Furious. So yeah, this, like, if we were to recast this movie in a this cast could play in a different movie for sure. Like, could this cast, could we recast this movie in like a Basic Instinct style movie? Nicolas Cage and Nicolas Cage as Michael Douglas and Angelina Jolie as Sharon Sharp. Delroy Lindo as like Nicolas Cage's cop friend. Is Delroy Lindo the one that is in the elevator at the end of the movie, getting taken down by, I guess, who's Triple Horn in this movie, chat? We lacking some female characters and Gone in 60 Seconds. Like we're casting a second female for the Gone in 60 Seconds Basic Instinct. Hey yo, chat. Hey yo, that is crazy. Okay, well I guess I guess we're on the Chat GPT. It is what it is. So I mean, you know, you could definitely recast the cast of Fast and Furious in a style of movie like you know, Vin Diesel in the Michael Douglas role and Michelle Rodriguez in the Sharon Stone, or Jordana Brewster in the, you know, I was gonna say Jordana Brewster in the Sharon Stone role and Vin Diesel in the Michael Douglas role. But again, if we're recasting from the Fast and Furious perspective, that is a little strange because they are brother and sister in the movie. But again, you know, actors recasting, fresh slate, they're not actually brother and sister in real life. So it is what it is. But you know, for the vibes, I think maybe they would play. But Michelle Rodriguez, it would be a different vibe. But you know, I think she could pull it off. The, you know, a little bit more threatening of a you know, of an author, chat, that's for sure. But yeah, I think the versatility of this cast, you know, again, you got Oscar winners in this cast. Like, has Angelina Jolie been nominated for an Oscar? Nicolas Cage, Oscar winner. Robert Duvall, Oscar winner. Is he a best supporting or best actor? Maybe he's both. There's no way he's not both, chat. Let me see here. Yeah, okay, best actor for Adrian Brody, I guess the incumbent best actor. But best actor in a leading role, the 53rd Academy Awards, The Great Santini, 1981. Hey, yo, best actor in a leading role win. Oh, so yeah, he's multiple, chat. Multiple. Oh, wait a second. We're not even, nominations in The Godfather and Apocalypse Now. Wins. Oh, wait, nominated in The Great Santini. Oh, so wait, only one win. Multiple nominations, only one win. Tender Mercies. Hey, yo, 1983. Bruce Bresford written and directed this movie. Robert Redford as a country music singer. Mac Sledge? Mac Sledge goes down in the names as well, too, chat. That's a good one. Hey, yo. The Apostle in 1997. I think maybe a little bit different than The Apostle that Dan Stevens was in. A Civil Action, 1998, and The Judge in 2014. Yeah, him and RDJ, Vincent D'Onofrio, Dax Shepard, Billy Bob Thornton. Hey, yo, chat. Like, that's a, you know, is this an Apex Mountain for anybody in this movie? You know, Dax Shepard, Apex Mountain. Vermeer Farmiga. We'll revisit this movie, chat. What else has Dax Shepard been in that I'm missing? Veronica Mars, a cameo in that. Overconfident Club Boy. Chips, Paw Patrol the movie. Yeah, Judge, chat. Easily Apex Mountain, I think. For, Cheaper by the Dozen? Camera crew member and Cheaper by the Dozen? So it's either Cheaper by the Dozen or The Judge for Dax Shepard. But, yeah, and again, The Judge and Sinners, you know, different categories of movies. But yeah, you've got Duvall with a lead role win, not a supporting role win, but, you know, Robert Duvall didn't win supporting. But got the win in Best Lead. I mean, does Delroy Lindo have an Oscar as well, too? I guess to go back to his career. Okay, never been nominated for the Academy Awards. You know, his roles as well, too, is he had the perfect alignment of the supporting. Because I guess, you know, could Delroy Lindo get nominated as a Best Actor? I think that would be not off the table, but would it be more likely he gets nominated in supporting? We could definitely see that for sure. So the cast for Harder They Fall got nominated for a couple of things in 2022, but he individually, and he got nominated for Da 5 Bloods for Black Reel Awards as well. So, you know, Chicago Film Critics. So I guess Da 5 Bloods, his role in Da 5 Bloods got him some nominations across the table. Oh, we got some Malcolm X nominations in here as well, too. So, you know, people looking at his roles. He's definitely, you know, people are eyeing Delroy Lindo for those third-team All-NBA spots, for sure. Definitely maybe hanging around the All-Star category right now in terms of current accolades. But, everything, you know, Oscar level, Delroy Lindo. And then Will Patton. Is Will Patton also an Oscar winner, Chad? We got 7 Oscar winners in Gone in 60 Seconds. Nominated for Outstanding Performance by a Cast. Won 2 Obie Awards. Nominated for a Saturn Award. Yeah, I guess never actually got himself a SAG Award. So maybe not quite the Oscar level for our guy, Will Patton. Maybe just more beloved character guy. But, and then I guess Angelina Jolie as well, too. Here, we'll look at her film list of awards and nominations. She's got a whole, several Academy Awards, chat. Okay. For some reason, her Academy Awards are not jumping off the page. Oh, she won Best Supporting in 2000. Girl Interrupted. Oh, chat. People don't talk about the Angelina Jolie win. Again, Best Supporting, but I feel like that kind of helps the case because she doesn't, and I guess any actors like this. Like, you don't necessarily, of course, need an Oscar to become the beloved. Like a guy like Stallone, can take his role as an action hero and not necessarily need an Oscar, even though, he can get in the conversation at a certain point. A guy like Arnold as well, too. Like, Angelina Jolie can play sexy roles and be a star. And again, obviously not saying just because of, like, she can crush in those roles, but she can crush in her lane. I guess I'm saying as a lead as well, too, without being necessarily a critically acclaimed. Like, she can still be a star in that role. But then for her to be like, oh, I can step into these supporting roles and then, like, I'm giving you an Oscar performance as well, too. Best Actress nominated for Challenging as well. Clint Eastwood, Chad. Hey, yo, so paired with a crazy director there as well. So, I mean, basically everybody in this movie has received an Academy Award. And again, Will Patton is, I think, supporting actor level. He's Oscar level supporting actor guy for sure. And where's Timothy Olyphant? Yeah, Timothy Olyphant as the detective as well too. Just hanging out, chat. So, definitely a better cast as well. And I guess, well, when it was Fast and Furious 01, so Fast and Furious, let's see here. I guess we'll just go the franchise here and see. And I don't know if we can get like a competing. Yeah, so June 22nd, 2001. Will it say here if it says anything about? Okay, so Walker suggested a mashup. Wait, okay. 2000 actor Paul Walker worked with Rob Cohen's Skulls. Cohen secured a deal for an untitled film, approached Walker, asked him to suggest his dream action film. Walker suggested a mashup of Days of Thunder and Donnie Brasco. So see, Chad, it's the same process that we've been doing on ChatGPT. It's like, let's just take two movies, mix them together, and we'll call that a new movie. But soon thereafter, they brought him to Vibe. Article titled Racer X, which detailed the underground street racing operation as well too. So that is true. Like, they're not necessarily heisting cars in. I guess they are kind of car thieves, but they're also they're also street racers as well too. Like, these guys aren't necessarily focused on the street. They're not hustling guys in the street racing aspect of it, which is, I guess, the part that does make Fast and Furious unique. Is you do get those scenes where, again, you're getting the race scenes, but in those street settings. This is unique to the Fast and Furious franchise a little bit. And you're in the idea of a car chase scene. Again, I guess we could go back to like French Connection with stuff like that, if I'm not mistaken. But the idea of the street racing, I think, is a little bit different as well too. So, whoa, wait a second. I get a Fast and Furious deep dive here, chat. Eminem in the Paul Walker role instead of 8 Mile. Whoa. So I guess, speaking of Timothy Olyphant, again, wait a second. Olyphant, however, had starred previously in Carter's film, declined the role. Olyphant said that he turned down the role, thought the film would be stupid. Hey, yo, Chant, Olyphant picked the wrong. Hey, he didn't pick the wrong. Gone in 60 Seconds is iconic. But in terms of the money, I think the way the franchise Fast and Furious, Olyphant's bank account would definitely like the Fast and Furious franchise money in that as well too. And just the movies just constantly playing every Sunday, just that TNT check hits Olyphant's bank account, and he's like, okay, keep cashing stars, keep cashing checks. But it doesn't necessarily say anything about the Gone in 60 Seconds correlation. Like, oh, was there controversy? Was there inspiration? All that stuff. But I guess if we go back to the actual Gone in 60 Seconds part of it itself here, chat, the plot, whatever. Who cares about the plot of this movie? Oh, the cars? I guess here, we'll look at that in a second. Production. Oh, and they go into the car as well too. So soundtrack is pretty great for this. Also, critical reception. Who cares what the critics say? So yeah, I guess literally nothing. This movie there was nothing involved in making this movie. They just went, hey, let's just crash a couple of cars, film Nicolas Cage and Angelina Jolie a couple times, and then call that a movie. But chat, they're spying on people. Angelina Jolie, Nicolas Cage. You know what happens if you spy on people making out? Probably gonna start making out. Hey, yo, chat. But we'll look. Do we give them some privacy here? Okay, a couple of Ferraris, a lot of Cadillacs, some Bentleys, Aston Martins. Okay, chat. I don't know. The resale values, cars, I feel like they hold up pretty good. A good car. I mean, I'm no antique roadshow evaluation specialist, chat, but I feel like a car's not bad. Oh, we got 2 columns here as well too. A Lincoln Navigator. Yeah, they do steal a couple. Like, this guy just needs a couple of cars as well. I mean, obviously a nice car, but he's like, he's really just setting up a lot for something. He's not like, okay, we need 100 Lamborghinis. Toyota Land Cruiser. Yeah, again, a couple of the SUVs, a couple of the common, like, in the entourage, like entourage vans, not necessarily vans from the movie Entourage, but vans in an entourage in an action movie, which, again, write that into our action movie recast is, there's going to be a scene where there's just an entourage of vans at some point. So he's not necessarily sticking to one brand. He will branch out. Yeah, he's got some Escalades in here, an Eldorado. I feel like the Escalade is the one, chat. The Cadillac, feels the most. I guess the Lincoln Navigator is close though. Like, chat, DMS at Remington Pod. What is your entourage van of choice? I guess your SUV of choice for your entourage. A Bentley. The Bentleys would be saying, is there a Bentley SUV here that we can choose? So we got, what are the Aston Martins? The DB7 and the Aston Martin DB1. A couple of 90s cars. Or no, wait. We're looking at the wrong way here. A 62 here and then a 99 for the DB7. Okay, so the DB line, chat. Ayo. Well, we've got the 1 and the 7. And they've got the codes listed as well, too. So this one was Mary. This one was Barbara. Yeah, they all have them listed by names. Different names for every car, chat, is pretty impressive. There's Eleanor, shout out. Stacy and Vanessa, Denise, Iris, Angelina. They don't have like a Nicolas, Giovanni. They don't just pay homage to all of the cast members. Oh, they do have a Gina, Deborah, Bernadine, Jaguar XJ220. And that is the fun thing about the Fast and Furious franchise as well too, is the fact that it continues, into modern times, and the car technology continues to evolve with it as well too. So all of the technology of the franchise itself definitely becomes a lot at some point. They're in space and all this different stuff, but we're getting in some newer cars like the Fast, in Fast 7 when they're jumping the cars, it's just they're in the newer supercar. I'm not going to say that they didn't have like the mid-engine style, but you get what I'm talking about with the modern sleekness of some of the newer supercars. Because as you get older and you get more, Chad, as I'm getting older over here, but as even a little bit more older, you get a little bit more appreciative of some of the older styles as well too. But like, hot take, like this Aston Martin DB7, am I good, chat? Like, this would not be the first one I would pull off the lot. But again, you handed me an Aston Martin DB7, you're probably gonna be okay. Bentley Ernage, Bentley Azure. Bentley Azure, hopefully they didn't steal the one with the soft top convertible. Ayo, chat. Laura. Bentley Continental, of course, classic, chat. The Eldorado, like we mentioned. The Eldorado Brougham. I don't know if that's like a different, interior finish. The Escalade as well. Maybe the Escalade a little bit more, what were we saying? The Escalade, yeah, the Escalade is the SUV for the Convoy. Convoy is the word that we should have said. Convoy, chat. What SUV in your Convoy are you taking? Convertible Bel Air, the Mustang GT. So yeah, wait a second here. Let's go, because obviously John Wick was Mustang GT, all that different stuff. But as a guy that knows, we're a car guy because we like looking at cars. We're not a car guy because the same way we are like it. We don't know the car advanced stats. That's for sure. We're casual fans of the car game. But John Wick Mustang does not. Oh yeah, 1969. So was this the same one? Wait, did they say 67 or 69 for that Mustang? 1969 Ford Mustang Mach 1 in the movie, and why it's not a Boss 429. Oh, wait a second. So what is this, like a controversial pointing out the differences in the Mustang John Wick article or something? But he had a Mach 1. So is that maybe a little bit of a different model than the whatever they had here, the GT 500? Yeah, John Wick even had a step up, and yeah, they had 67, but still, same era, I imagine. Wait a second, the Shelby Mustang built from 65 to 67 and then built by Shelby American, and then built by Ford from 68 to 70. So it would still have been kind of the same, I think, total car. A 53 Corvette as well, too. Oh, I guess they're not going to give us the 53 version here. The Stingray. Here we go. I don't know if that's the 67 year, but that looks maybe more. Is that more 90s? I don't know, chat. But, oh, the pickup truck. The 2000 F-Series pickup truck just needs something a little more practical at the time. Plymouth Superbird, iconic. The Dodge Viper Coupe is great as well, too. A great low body look kind of in the front there is fun stuff. That racing style, chat. The Vipers are an underrated car. A string of Ferraris as well, too. And I guess the GT is the one that he brings in at the end. That is a little beat up. Oh, Delroy Lindo, careful with that black light. Hey, yo. You're going to get the car names on it, but you don't know necessarily where Angelina Jolie and Nicolas Cage have been. Hey, yo, chat. Hey, yo. And I love the fact that they literally just erase like 20 car names. It's like, you run out of time. It is what it is. You just hope they don't get the idea. I guess, they set fire to everything else. You think that they would have some sort of board set up with like you could just set fire to the board. I mean, again, it would sort of lose the disguise of the fact that you're hiding it on the wall. Like, if you have a board set up in town or just in the room, then you know that something's there. Even if it's blank, it's like, okay, something's going on here. But again, the idea would be in a situation where you have to make a run for it, you could easily destroy the evidence all the way around. If you're not going to destroy the building, don't leave any evidence literally on the building, I think is a good rule of thumb we learned from Gone in 60 Seconds. Also, Delroy Lindo, cop instincts, just batting 100%. In this movie as well, too. That's another great just cop feature in a movie is when they just, the hunches, a cop hunch. Just, he knows that Nicolas Cage is going to go for the GT 500 last. Of course, chat. But we got a Yukon in here as well, too. A good, a Yukon with some tinted windows is a fun one. The Hummer, a Hummer H1. A convoy of Hummers would be a move. You don't necessarily have the space of some of the SUVs as well. Infiniti QX45. As well. Probably a better car back in the 80s. But Jaguars are fun. AFC South, chat. We don't need to prompt up the Jaguars here. The Lamborghini Diablo. The Lexus LS400. You mentioned the Navigator. The Lincoln. A big fan of the, CL500, S600, and SL600. So he's like, I got to get each package for this Mercedes, I guess. And then a Mercury Custom. Oh, so not even a car that exists. Plymouth Hemi, as well too. The Cuda, Plymouth Roadrunner, 1969, which is like an episode of Jay Leno's Garage, chat. Gone in 60 Seconds. How is there not a Jay Leno cameo in 2000? Maybe he was beefing with Nicolas Cage at the time. The run of Porsche, the Porsche Boxster, Porsche 996, Porsche 35B Roadster. Oh, chat. That's a fun little car. Rear engine sports car. The first ever Porsche production model. Oh, that's got to be valuable then, for sure. Even if it's, it's obviously a Porsche, but Porsche, chat. Porsche. Wait a second. Speaking of Porsche, isn't that also the dog's name in Gone in 60 Seconds? Porsche or something like that. Shout out Virginia King again. Rolls-Royce Park Ward. Stretch limousine. Oh, they stole a limousine. That's right, chat. Shelby AC Cobra. The Mustang GT 500. Oh, wait a second. Wait, 2 Eleanors listed here, chat? Did they double list Eleanor? The Shelby GT 567 and then the Shelby GT 567. I don't know. Double listing on Eleanor, maybe. But then Toyota Land Cruiser, Toyota Supra Turbo. Supra's a little underrated, chat. Supras aren't bad. Cool looking. Talking about looks. I'm not going to be the one that breaks down the specs, but I can get my eyes on a couple of cars, see what they look like. And then the Volvo V70R, chat, is another snag as well. So a fun collection, again, I don't know some of the super high end cars here. He wasn't necessarily into like the Bugattis and things like that. Keep it more a little more basic. The Porsches, the Ferraris, the Mustangs, the Corvettes, the Rolls Royces. I don't know what the most does it say what the most expensive car would be here? Eleanor, despite the source, either 11 or 12 of the cars were built by Simona Vehicle Services for the film. Not including one additional Eleanor clone. Yeah, thank goodness, Chad. They gotta make it. You can't just start. We can't. As much as we love the idea of these people having these nice Mustangs in these action movies, the problem is they always crash them. So we should just be building clones every time for old cars. Like, you know, again, I like authenticity in a movie as well too. But that is, I would say, probably the one of the things that obviously I think gets you most peeved about the Fast and Furious, like the all these franchises. Like, okay, if there anytime a real car would get crashed in a movie, that would be a little bit too much. If something happens, then I guess, you know, anything getting damaged, you know, chat, and you know, you get PETA out here with the animals, but we gotta have a PETA service for the cars. It's like, hey, yo, no real Corvettes were harmed in the making of this movie. We need that, like, actual little thing at the end to let us know that everything was okay. But, oh, the original Eleanor. Look at that, chat. Whoa. Oh, chat. What's hotter, chat? Eleanor or Angelina Jolie? Hey, yo. Depends on depends on the mood, I guess. But, so based on designs and sketches. So this was the clone then? I mean, see the clone. I mean, it looks perfect. It's again, it's for a movie. You're not driving it. It's not authentic. If it's in Nicolas Cage's garage as like a design, then it's cool because it's the clone car from Gone in 60 Seconds. So it's not like Nicolas Cage bought a Temu Mustang and it's like, wait a second, you guys hear Nicolas Cage is driving this fake Mustang around? It's like, no, they're making them for, you know, they gotta make a fake Mustang for a movie and then just crash that instead. It's just like a stuntman. We need stuntman cars. You know, we can't actually, you know, outside of Tom Cruise, we can't actually, and I guess Nicolas Cage, did he do his own stunts in this? He did his own stunts in Con Air, which I did think for a couple of days this week that we were watching Con Air on Sunday. I was like, oh, you know, getting excited, throwing Con Air on, like, got to study, maybe a list of like power ranking all the Con Air characters, and then was like, oh, wait a second, Con Air was like 97. IT said Gone with the Wind. Gone in 60 Seconds is 2000. So, anyways, Gone in 60 Seconds, I guess. Well, it'll do just fine. But, yeah, do we need to look up, like, how many cars were actually crashed in the making of Gone with 60 Seconds or Fast and Furious? But it's a good stack of cars there, chat. It's a good stack of, I don't know how many of them are. I guess Jay Leno has, like, all the cars. So he probably, oh, yeah, I have this one, I have that one, I have that one. They probably all are just Jay Leno's cars, to be honest. So if they're Jay Leno's cars, no, just shout out Jay Leno. We're Team Conan, chat. So, you know, whichever car would most represent crashing that one to support Conan for the late night runs, then, you know, I don't know which car best represents Jay Leno's late night television run. I don't know if that's a question for the chat GPT, but outside of that, then we are needing these cars to be made safe. And also, you know, taking, I guess we're not quite to the full on end scene quite yet, but also, you know, takes a few liberties with the mechanics of driving a car. You know, you're getting a couple of unrealistic stunts here with the cars in some of the chase stuff. I guess the end, again, you know, spoiler, the ending, we're not quite there yet, but when he jumps the ramp, obviously, at the end, that's not, I don't think the first time like a car's ever been jumped in a ramp in a movie. I can't imagine. I wouldn't necessarily, you know, get ChatGPT to give us those stats. But, oh, Delroy Lindo and Oliphant are on him, chat. So this is one of the good out driving scenes, Nicolas Cage. And him and Dominic Toretto do have a lot of, you know, Vin Diesel and Nicolas Cage have a lot of overlapping qualities, chat. But in terms of this type of movie, and again, you know, even, you know, skipping even farther down to the ending, you know, the barbecue at the end, like literally so many beats of this movie, I'm sure Fast and Furious was influenced by, or, you know, directly ripped off or whatever. But, or, you know, is there overlapping people working on the movie as well too? They're like, yeah, just reuse these ideas. It's fine. But Nicolas Cage does have that kind of, obviously, the corniness aspect of it that Vin Diesel has. Vin Diesel gives you, obviously, a little more tough guy energy. He can fight The Rock in a parking garage, and it makes sense. If Nicolas Cage had to fist fight The Rock, you know, it's a different type of fight. Nicolas Cage might need he needs Robert Duvall to, like, rig up something to step in and help him win the fight, or, you know, out clevers The Rock or something and gets away. But he's not going to out punch any of those guys necessarily. But he can outdrive. He can give a good speech at the end for a barbecue, and he can like rally a family to. It makes sense for him as sort of the alpha male in a family, as well too, to be the leader of that kind of group. He has that calm, collected energy, but still presents himself as, oh, wait a second, this guy could actually be the smartest guy in the room in any sort of situation. So I don't know, Ronin chat crossed with any other, good car chase movie here. Nicolas Cage driving in reverse as well. I feel like, driving in reverse scenes for Fast and Furious. You get the no look scene in the second one, but do you get a good, what are the driving in reverse scenes? Is that Fast and Furious 11 chat? Do we need an 11th one? And they just drive backwards the entire time? Delroy Lindo just missing the big tow truck crane situation. Oh, chat, we need to write this in as well too for an action movie. The protagonist looks over at like a child in the middle of the chase, or in the middle of an action sequence, because that, you could obviously have the child like drops the toy in the middle of the street, and now Delroy Lindo has to scoop up the kid out of the way and save the day. But the idea, because doesn't that happen in the town as well too, again, where Ben Affleck, they're driving to the heist, and Ben Affleck looks over, and there's that kid that sees him in the car, and they all got the masks on. The kid's like, oh man, what's going on? You got Nicolas Cage here driving in reverse down the street, side by side. He's like, looks over at the car. You get the kid hanging out. He's like, wait, why is that car going in reverse? Like, hey, what's up, Nicolas Cage? But you need some kind of scene like that, obviously, I think, in the movie. For sure. It's a must, chat. It's a must. We'll put all these scenes at some point in the chat GPT and see what we get. Do we go for a second one right now? Should we ask it? Here, let's go new chat real quick and see what's the best way to ask it. Because I don't want to just ask it like vague question, like what would have been the plot for Gone in 60 Seconds 2, because that's a little bit too open-ended. Like, we do want to steer it in a certain direction, I think. And again, do we just want it to straight up compete with the Fast and Furious franchise? Like, Delroy Lindo does have, again, spoiler alert, the cop moment at the end with Nicolas Cage where he has to sort of make a call on what to do, but he doesn't necessarily. He's not, the movie doesn't end with Delroy Lindo wandering into the barbecue at the back. Am I wrong? Does Delroy Lindo actually show up at the end? Or I don't think he does. So, they don't actually turn the cop over onto their side. It's just sort of a mutual respect. So you could set up Gone in 60 Seconds 2 to still have Delroy Lindo pursuing the group. Maybe you recast it a little bit. Does he have a new sidekick? Timothy Olyphant. He thought maybe this movie is stupid too. He doesn't want to do the second one. So we recast him with a new detective sidekick. Maybe we need to bring in a new villain. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's the work together thing. Maybe there's a new thief and he knows that he needs to call in Nicolas Cage to help him out. I feel like, again, Fast and Furious is interesting because those first couple of movies aren't necessarily, like, it is a little Halloweenish where you could almost go like 1 to 4 and then like 1, 4, and 5 are like the original first trilogy, because again, that second one you don't get Vin Diesel. It is important because you do bring Tyrese into the series, and it's a great just Paul Walker movie as well too. But and Eva Mendes is in it, so that's a win. But the third one doesn't really have any of this. It's a spin-off more so of the Fast and Furious franchise than it is like an actual Fast and Furious movie. So you get to the fourth one before you actually, okay, now it's Paul Walker and then again it's them on the team, and I think it's more them on the run from the feds. Because what happens in that one? Again, spoiler alert for the Fast and Furious franchise, but that's the one where R.I.P. Letty gets shot. Because then in the fifth one, he's making eyes at the detective that's partnered with The Rock in that one. But and then 6, Letty pops back. Hey yo. So 4 is and then The Rock would be more. The Rock, I think so really you get to 6, I think, before you get The Rock being like, hey, I need your help. Because again, The Rock is chasing him in 5. It's a restart of the chase in 5. So we could restart the chase, or we could just go for the straight up Delroy Lindo needs Nicolas Cage's help, which could be fun. A Delroy Lindo Nicolas Cage vehicle, and then we get to cast a bad guy. So like a 2002, a 2003 bad guy, chat. We're bringing in Denzel in the early 2000s Denzel off of Training Day. His next movie is Gone in 60 Seconds 2, and he's the villain next to Nicolas Cage and Delroy Lindo. Hey, yo, chat. That could be an interesting combination. Here, let me get the chat GPT cooking, and we will see what we have for a movie here in the plot. So we need a plot for Gone in 60 Seconds 2, chat. Hey, yo. Are we bringing Angelina Jolie back? Nicolas Cage, a new love interest? No, we got to run the crew back. Gone in 60 Seconds 2. 23. Whoa. Where's this franchise going? Wait, so is it Gone in 120 Seconds, chat? Okay, so I don't know if we tell it to title that or if it just thinks of that on its own, but maybe it's listening. This will be the ultimate test if ChatGPT is actually listening to us live. If it titles this movie Gone in 120 Seconds. Or not. The Gone in 60 Seconds sequel. But a plot for Gone in 60 Seconds 2 where and see, like, what kind of movie could this be inspired against as well, too, though? The cop needs... This could be like a Demolition... Should we just bring Demolition Man in just because? We mentioned it earlier. I don't know how much inspiration of the... Like, you know, is Nicolas Cage in cryotherapy? And then they have to unfreeze him to stop whoever... You know, we cast Wesley Snipes as well, too, as the cop in this one. So... Oh, Nicolas Cage, the cops see him again. He's off to the races, chat. Hey, yo. So here we go. We're headed for that final chase to the bridge, chat. Any chase on a bridge is necessarily. You get like that. The Batmobile has a couple scenes in The Dark Knight. I don't remember if it's The Dark Knight or The Dark Knight Rises. Or maybe Batman Begins as well, too. Maybe all three. I think the Batmobile hops ramp in all three movies. So maybe the Dark Knight franchise leads the league in vehicle ramp hops. But this obviously setting up to be an iconic one as well, too. But where Delroy Lindo needs... Nicolas Cage's help, and we just go in the style of Demolition Man. Okay, so he needs Nicolas Cage's help to. Needs Nicolas Cage's help to stop a new villain. If we go in the style of Demolition Man, it's gonna be like all of a sudden Gone in 60 Seconds, set in the year 2045, but. Wait a second. Okay. To stop a new villain. Here we go. Comma. In the style of Demolition Man. Hey, yo, chat. Maybe we should do a first run through on just the normal question before we add in Demolition Man. But screw it. We're adding in... So we'll bring in Sandra Bullock as well, too. But in the style of Demo... I don't know if they... Do they just talk in, like, the basic sentences? Like they do in chat. We'll learn how to spell as the pod goes on. In the style of Demolition Man. Okay, wait a second. A plot for Gone in 60 Seconds 2 where Delroy Lindo needs Nicolas Cage's help to stop a new villain. In the style of Demolition Man. Hey, yo. Oh, right. No, let's say influenced by. I think might be the just whatever the best pieces to pull from Demolition Man is the way to go here. Not necessarily just straight up, you know, stylize the same plot. So, you've got a classic object rolls out into the middle of the road and stops the cop car dead in its tracks as well, too. You know, I don't know, we go top 5 movie drivers, Nicolas Cage. You know, if we had a straight up Nicolas Cage race. Oh, chat. Wait a second. Okay, I will, because this plot's going to take a second. So, quick pivot. Here, I'm going to copy and paste this so we don't have to type this all out later. We need simulate. Oh, stimulate. Whoa, what do we do? Caps lock back on here, Jeff. Okay. Simulate race between, and we got to go the leaders of the family, chat. It's got to be Dom Toretto versus Memphis Reigns. Is there a way that I can go like the mile per hours registered in the show to tell us, or in the movies to tell us who would win? Let's see here. Let's simulate an epic race showdown between Dominic Toretto. Randall? His name is Randall Reigns? Hey, yo, I didn't realize. Do they say that in the movie? Does the bad guy, like, call him Randall at the end randomly? I don't remember that. Randall Memphis Reigns. Hey, yo. So, location, the midnight streets of Los Angeles. Okay, makes sense. I guess, what city is Gone in 60? What city is that set in? I should know that, chat. That should be a obvious part of the movie. Oh, yeah, Long Beach. Long Beach, California. Okay, for sure, for sure. Are they... Where is Memphis still in? Where is he at? Memphis visits his old mentor. I guess I don't know why I was blanking on the locations there for this one for a second. But, yeah, Long Beach. So it would make sense for him to be over in L.A. as well, too. I guess, do we have to set this in, like, Brazil? Does he track him down in an overseas spot? But apparently not. ChatGPT setting it. The midnight streets of Los Angeles. Closed course. Neon lights. Wide stretches. Tight alleyways. A few death-defying jumps. In some conveniently placed construction sites. Of course, even ChatGPT knows. There has to be a conveniently placed structure site. So we see him here. He gets about 95. Maybe he hits actually 100 by the time he hits the ramp. So this is... Oh, green screen it away, chat. Nicolas Cage, brace for impact. Oh, there he goes. The car somehow still works, chat. My car barely doesn't even start, and it just, sits parked overnight. But this car can just straight up jump over a construction site and still be okay. Maybe I need to get a Shelby GT500 for other reasons, chat. It's also more... Just tell my accountant it's also more a durable car as well, too. But... yeah, some conveniently placed construction sites. Distance, 5 miles. Winner. First across the line. Style points, optional but respected. So, yeah, of course, they're just racing to the end of the... Is it going to give us a scene? A setup? Let's see here. The drivers. Dominic Toretto. Car. Dodge Charger, of course. 900 horsepower. I don't even think that is the most horsepower that he had in a car in the series. I think... Does he ever get to 2,000 horsepower in the Charger? Let's see. Dom Toretto, most horsepower. Hey, yo, chat. Whoa. What are we going here? Every car Dom has driven. Yeah, I don't know if we want to go this far into it. How much horsepower did Dom's car have? Yeah, Fast 8 is the one where he's like circling. He's like, this car's got 1,700 horsepower. The car is framed. Oh, wait, is it just 900? Maybe I was overestimating a little bit. The Fast and Furious franchise has warped in my mind. I mean, 900 horsepower is crazy, chat, obviously. But would it just like rip the motor would just rip right out of the chassis? But nitrous injected, custom reinforced frame, power, intimidation, complete disregard for physics. LA knows LA like the back of his hand. Knows LA like the back of his Vin Diesel shaped hand. Ayo, Andy's family fueled. Ayo, chat, both of them are. But the complete disregard for physics. So he definitely crashes like right before Memphis Reigns is about to cross the finish line, and Dominic Toretto like flies through the windshield across the finish line before Memphis Reigns' car does. So then it just becomes a debate. Dominic Toretto going 100 miles an hour, flying right into... He's like, thank goodness there was a parking garage there to break my fall. And then he just gets up, walks over to Memphis Reigns, like, I guess it's a tie. But Memphis Reigns, he's in Eleanor, of course. Both of the iconic cars. Definitely the refurbished Eleanor at the end, obviously. Sleek, agile, modified with ultra lightweight frame, precision, and NOS system. So maybe there is a scene, there's a couple of scenes where... Nicolas Cage gets out in front with they go weave through some tight alleys and the Mustang's maneuvering, but then they break through on a couple of straightaway, and Dominic Toretto's car just drives straight up past him. But smooth, technical, never rattled, Memphis Reigns. So what does it say here? Edge, tactical master of weaving through chaos, can feel the road. Whoa, hey, yo, chat. Nicolas Cage, I have a vibe for where to go. The streets tell me where to win. But the race begins. So mile 1. Oh, here we go, chat. Play by play. Let's see what happens. Wait, let me check my screen here. Make sure I'm not blocking. Okay. I won't. We don't want to cover up too much of the plot here, chat. We want you guys to be able to follow along. Oh, there we go. Off into the distance. But Dom smokes his tires at launch. Brute force launching his way into the lead. So, yeah, there we go. That straightaway, of course, just right initial off the start. Dominique Toretto in the lead. Okay, wait a second. We should mention they're at the Nicolas Cage. He's made it back in time, but unfortunately, of course, not actually in time. Oh, chat. R.I.P. Eleanor. Crushed by the crane. It is what it is. Nicolas Cage, they don't make cars like they used to. You guys don't know what you've done. That car is more valuable than me. So, you know, they're about to put a bullet right in Nicolas Cage's head. I mean, just the 1,000,000th time, and even in 2000, chat, you know, barely the turn of the century at this point, and there's already a well-documented history of villains taking too long to put a bullet in a guy's head. You got Atlee showing up randomly. Perfect distraction to be knocked over by the crane. Probably should have just smothered both of them as well, too. Giovanni Ribisi stepping in for once to actually save Nicolas Cage. But Memphis hangs his back. Memphis hangs back, keeping his cool, watching his lines, you know, maybe catching the drifting lanes as well, too. So, mile 1, Dom is in the lead. Mile 2, we get the first construction site on the road, chat. So, 5 miles, you know, over under 2.5 construction sites. Dom plows through a construction site, narrowly avoiding debris. Memphis drips around it with surgical grace, closing the gap. So, it really is building Dom up as like a brute force driver here. Like, I mean, he kind of is, but also, again, as a street racer, he is a little bit more skilled than that. And chat, Nicolas Cage destroying the chair that... What is this guy's... I forget what this guy's name is as well, too, as the villain. I was going to say the woodworker, but whoa. That is a different type of movie, chat. A movie that we're probably not going to watch live on the pod. But, what is this guy's name? Is he just... Oh, he's just Caltieri, or however you say his name. The British guy. But he doesn't have like a mobster name. So he needs a mobster name in this movie. He's missing that, chat. But, you know, just like that Calteri's like a pretty good mobster name. Just for a name, a last name. But he needs like Calteri. You know, speaking of Con Air, you know, you get Cyrus the Virus. You need like Calteri the Terrible or something like that. But his overwhelming passion for carpentry when Nick Cage just smashes the chair is, of course, very funny. But, Memphis drifting around. So it does feel, I feel like ChatGPT wants to say that Memphis Reigns is the better driver as well, too, is what I was getting at. But Dom hits the NOS early. Oh, chat, mile 2. And he's already used up some of the NOS. Tires screech, engines howl. So we haven't hit any alleyways yet at this point either. Do we need to go back to the Christian Eccleston career as well, too? Double check some of his films. Nicolas Cage dangling over a very high drop. Add that to the action list movie checklist as well, too. Mile 3, alley chase section begins. Halfway through, perfectly laid out, chat. Dom Chargers barely fits, scraping walls. Here we go, perfect. Memphis takes an alternate route through a parking garage, re-emerging side by side with Dom. So Dom, of course, again, still barely gets through, but did he lose a couple of seconds where he could have taken the lead with the power of the Charger by, again, the times. So the Charger only is tied because it's 900 horsepower. It just continues to slam through all these buildings. But, oh, Delroy Lindo, chat. That was a close call. So it really only is, you know, this guy's, the law enforcement potential of it. Keeping him in safe. So this is another, you know, waits too long. I mean, again, police officer, you know, maybe digest the situation a little bit before you just start firing. But a true villain, you know, you just gotta go, Chad. You have Demolition Man. You got a little death, murder, kill situation here. So Nicolas Cage stepping in just in time. The kick off the stage, or the kick off the off the platform. So shout out to Eccleston for still trying to fire a couple shots up into the air while dead. And one last gunfire as he hits the ground as well, too. But, you know, landing right on the casket as well, too. Very metaphorical. Or, you know, symbolic, however you want to say it, chat. Just missed as well, too. If he lands straight in the casket, is he, like, okay? Does he need to, you know, break his... pause. But does he need to, like, land in half in that type of way on the edge to become, like, a fatality move? Or, you know, no acid pit as well, too. If he lands in the coffin, just straight the coffin closes on him, does he become, like, some Batman villain at that point? Then we've got to recast Nicolas Cage as Batman. Memphis Reigns as Batman driving the Batmobile would be pretty sick. But I got to chat back to mile 3. Memphis takes an alternate route through a parking garage. We were side by side with Dom. So mile 4, helicopter shot. Ben Affleck's directing this movie, chat. Both cars leap a small bridge in perfect sync. Oh, this is going to be slow-mo. That's a helicopter shot? I think it's a helicopter shot as they approach the ramp, obviously. But as they leap over the ramp, you know, what am I doing here? The shot is, you know, up, looking up, and then cars jumping over the top, I think. So, mile 4, Chad, it's still neck and neck. Hey, I'll pause. Dom tries to intimidate Memphis with a classic side swipe feint, Chad. Memphis doesn't flint. Instead, he taps the NOS and hits a precision jump shortcut. He hits a precision jump shortcut off of a ramp truck. So, no second construction site, but we do get at least a ramp. You know, a conveniently placed tow truck with the ramp parked down. Gets to leap right over the top of that. Dom has to slide around a couple of cars. So Memphis is in the lead after mile 4. Uh-oh, chat. Uh-oh. Toretto mutters respect. Not a lot of dialogue laid out during the scene, but we do get a Toretto line. He loves it. So respect at mile 4, but does that mean Dom's a locked-in Dominique Toretto is... Dominique Toretto in mile 4 down, chat, is like Brady in the fourth quarter, you know, fourth quarter drive. He needs to take the lead here because... he will lock in. He will get the win. Very terrifying. I'm trying to remember. Like, I don't know if we actually see him lose a race. Like, he definitely ties with Walker a couple times. But maybe at the end of the series there, he loses one. I don't remember. But final stretch, chat. Here we go. Down the road for Memphis Reigns versus Dominique Toretto. The road splits. Whoa. Hey, yo, chat. A little fast 7 ending here. One longer straightaway, perfect for Dom. Another tighter, risky shortcut full of corners. Memphis' specialty. So the power of the Charger versus the agility of Eleanor. They glance at each other, and then they split, take off down their pass, chat. So mile 5, what do we get? The finish line. Is it going to be a tie? A corny tie? What do we get? Oh, shout out to Delroy Lindo for letting Nicolas Cage go as well. I mean, chat, you got Calteri lined up about to put a bullet through your skull, and Nicolas Cage pushes him off the platform. You got to let him go, obviously. Has there ever been a cop movie where the cop's like, well, I still got to take you in? I mean, this is real life at this point. You know, of course, change your mind before I go. I mean, another line we just got to add into the action movie checklist. But, yeah, of course, you got to let him walk after this. So now he walks and he goes to chase Dominique Toretto. Maybe he wants the Charger. At this point, they're racing for the Charger. Ooh, chat. That is crazy. Dom straightaway. He hits the the second round of NOS. The car is literally vibrating time itself. Memphis' shortcut. 1 perfect drift. 2 a hairpin with inches to spare. They converge again. Neck and neck. What happens, chat? Photo finish. Winner, Memphis Reigns! Oh, chat, Memphis Reigns gets Dominique Toretto by half a bumper. You can see ChatGPT was leaning that way. Oh, chat, it really values that last jump, I guess, by Memphis Reigns. It loves the quick thinking and the just agility ability of Memphis Reigns. Memphis tips his head. Illinois purring beside the Charger. Hey, yo, chat, post-credit scene. Tej and Sway are already planning the rematch. Roman wants in, but crashes the pre-race barbecue. Of course he does, Tat. Of course he does. Simulate the rematch. Oh, chat, they take it to Tokyo. So is this now, speaking of Godzilla and Kong, chat, is this, well, don't cancel this, but, is this the franchises converging? And here we go, chat. The barbecue at the end. Iconic stuff. Giovanni Ribisi back. Handed Nicolas Cage the present. Shout out, chat. Eleanor restored. But, yeah, chat, Memphis Reigns with the win. It's crazy. So it wants us to re-simulate because I think it knows it wants us Dominique Toretto to win. So it's like, trying to keep us locked in using ChatGPT. But that is tough. I think Toretto would have been the favorite low-key going into that. Again, the franchise, maybe just familiarity time spent, more situations seen. But the street level, like we're still on the street. Memphis Reigns doesn't have to have gone to space to need to know how to win this race better. He just needs to make sure Eleanor's locked in and, the drifts are on point. But that is, and it's by a half a bumper, barely gets him. But Memphis Reigns versus, Paul Walker, I think would be a tough matchup as well, too. Like, I almost think Memphis Reigns would have to win against Paul Walker. And then it's like, oh, he needs to take down Toretto. as like, or maybe he wins against like Hans or Ludacris in like a side quest to start. So is this movie number 2? Memphis Reign shows up to the Fast and Furious family trying to slowly win their cars one by one. And then in the Memphis Reigns, and then in Gone and Fast and Furious in 60 seconds of Fast and Furious. Hey, yo, chat. Whoa. What kind of movie is that? That's another different movie that we could recast here on the Chat GPT, but we maybe violate some community guidelines. 60 seconds of Fast and Furious. Chat, that's a wild title. Hey, yo. But that would be a fun potential. I don't even know if we need to do the sequel, chat, at this point. Maybe we save the sequel for night 2 of Angelina Jolie week, which may continue this week. But, of course, we have to continue with the NBA Finals, which will be tomorrow. We will be live tomorrow during the NBA Finals as well. So you can join us for that. Shout out, guys, for joining us tonight. Of course, Gone in 60 Seconds, a classic, 25 years later. Nicolas Cage. Still holds up. Tubi, what's next? Wild Hogs? Hey, yo, chat. John Travolta, Tim Allen, Martin Lawrence. Quite a pivot. But, yeah, we'll be here live on the YouTube tomorrow night. Game 5 of the NBA Finals should also be a classic as well, too. This series has been so far. And then, we'll just be back this week hanging out on the live streams like we normally do. Normal schedule, chat. Stuff doesn't change. We'll be here finals and same time as usual, and the feeds go up, the live streams go up on the podcast feeds as well too, so they're posted on Spotify, they're posted on Apple, they're posted on all those platforms. If you guys want to access them later there, or that's just your preferred way to, however you guys want to check out the old REMINGTOM pod. Hopefully it's available for you guys to consume it in that way. Hey, pause. But like I said, yeah, we'll be back tomorrow night. And we'll be hanging out, and we can't wait to see you guys here as well. So enjoy the rest of your day. Happy Father's Day to everybody out there, and we'll see y'all later.